dropping you off in front of the
perfect.
Rose Bowl.
That helps a lot.
There was, look, sometimes in life, Trav, and you know this because you and I live our life on the edge. Sometimes, we take chances like no tomorrow.
Sure.
Sometimes when they close off some of those private neighborhoods, you know what I'm talking about? They don't let you go into those private neighborhoods. Sometimes you might have to move a cone every once in a while to just get in that private neighborhood.
100%.
Once you're in that private neighborhood, there's nobody there because everybody else is going through one way to get into the Rose Bowl. So she dropped me off right in front of the Rose Bowl, and
Excellent.
I was just kind of like, all right, let's make it happen.
It was a great game. You got there relatively on time.
I'm a criminal.
I thought for sure you were going to be like, yeah, I got there with about 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. I thought that you were going to be way past the half.
And then I left right after to beat traffic.
Yeah, what an unbelievable game. It was. I've watched a lot of those games over the years, and there have been a lot of good ones. That was about as good as the one you're going to find.
All right, can I give you've been to the Rose Bowl 388 times in your life.
A lot.
A lot of people have experienced USC and UCLA in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first SC-UCLA experience, and this is when both teams are actually really good and that there's actually something riding on the line here.
I want to say it's the first time they've both been ranked since 2016 when they played each other.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I had no idea really what to expect. And Mace was nice enough to get the tickets. Well, Mace's tickets are in a complete USC section. Granted, I did say I'm rooting for the underdogs, UCLA. Walked in, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It was
Why
all
didn't
USC.
UCLA even bother to show up at that point?
Yeah.
Like, if you say, I think I'm going to root for the Bruins, like, oh, boy.
Can I tell you something? When I got there, SC just started scoring.
Of course
and the people around Mace were like, hey, you're the guy. You're the guy. You got here, SC started scoring. I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just trying to enjoy the game. One of the cooler sporting events I've been to in LA.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
I think it's different because if I said, hey, there's a Lakers-Clippers game coming up, there's some hype behind it. Okay, yeah, but you're going to be it's going to be, typically, most of the time, it's going to be a lot of Laker fans over Clipper fans.
And they do it 4 times a year.
Do it four times a year.
Thing, yeah.
Okay, is a Rams-Chargers game going to be?
Not.
Of course not, right?
Yeah.
If you kind of start going down the list of all the different teams, Dodgers, Angels, cool.
Of course not.
Cool. But it's not SC, UCLA when they're both ranked. That was as good of a sporting event that I've been to. And what you were watching on TV, that environment, the high-powered offenses on both sides, it was really cool to be there.
I think Caleb Williams put himself in the driver's seat for the Heisman Trophy in that game,
dude's
too.
A stud.
Like, I really do. That he's been on the list all season long. He's been good all season long. He's been the guy that I know was kind of lingering around the outside, but because it goes through the SEC, because Ohio State has C.J. Stroud, because there are Hooker from Tennessee was having the year that he was having, all of these guys felt like they were just maybe a notch above him. Even Bo Nix with the Ducks got a little bit more love than you were getting from Caleb Williams. And then all of a sudden, to your point, you have 2 ranked teams, you have a back-and-forth game, and he was the best player on the field by a mile. And DTR, he had both a great night and a really rough night. So if you can have a great night and a bad night at the same time, he found a way to do it. He had multiple interceptions. He had a fumble. He also scored 6 touchdowns. It was bonkers how good he was. But Williams was just, you knew he was going to find a way to get it done. And this is what happens. When you have a game like that, whole country's watching that game.
Yep.
It's on national TV. And he had the performance that he needed to have. And he had 470 total yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 touchdown on the ground, and 85,000 people in the Rose Bowl said, who's the best player? Oh, it's him. It was that obvious. And if he beats Notre Dame, if they beat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, if in fact Oregon's their opponent, he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. He now has, because it's SC, they like to give it to SC guys, because there isn't a bunch of fractured voting on the West Coast. He's the only guy. And there are these other guys that are starting to drop out a little bit, especially if C.J. Stroud could get beat by Michigan next weekend. Caleb Williams is going to show up, first year, new head coach, completely turned around the program, and, oh, by the way, put another Heisman Trophy in the case. It's amazing.
All right, during this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of Americans fallen or disabled military and first responders. The event is taking place on Friday, December 9th at Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Linda. If you'd like to participate and purchase a green fee, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. Love, it's what makes Subaru Subaru. I'm going to stick on something that you just said. Yeah, there were a couple moments. I remember right after the game ended, and you are right. The Caleb Williams, DTR had some opportunities.
Sure.
DTR had some mistakes. That was a game. The end of the first half, the way that game ended, your SC saying, we're now 21-20?
I know.
That's it?
Yeah, exactly.
How the hell did that happen?
Exactly
okay?
right.
And he threw 2 picks there right
kid
before.
made the bomb kick right at the beginning end of the half after missing 2. Yes.
Okay,
sorry.
but there was that point of the 21-20. And then it was UCLA got the stop that they needed. DTR, ball's in your hands. You know what you just can't do? Don't throw a pick.
Another pick.
You're driving. All you need is a field goal. Just all you have to do is just eventually, it's not like SC's going to be known for their defense. All you have to do is just don't make that big mistake. He made that mistake. He made it 3 times. Caleb Williams didn't. But you said something here that kind of hit home for a quick second. So I'm sitting at the game, and the moment SC wins and they kneel, they do that final kneel. Caleb Williams pumps his fist and kind of doesn't know where to go and then decides, yeah, I'm going to go run down towards the student section.
Sure.
So he starts running towards the end zone. I'm just kind of watching the whole thing. I'm like, did Lincoln Riley just come here and in one freaking year took USC to they're not relevant. They're actually a laughing stock for how proud of a program that they are, and this is where they're sitting in X amount of years it's this way. And they're 2 wins away from potentially getting to the playoff championship.
If they win out, they're going to go.
Let's just say this. By the way, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Let's just say that they don't even get to the playoff. Let's just say that didn't happen. Look how quick he just changed the entire perception of USC. They're not supposed to be in the playoff championship in their first year.
No.
They're not. Like that would be such an unfair expectation. But just kind of watching that all unfold, you see the USC crowd there. It was like, wow, this really changed around in such a short amount of time. You went out and got the coach, and the coach just keeps delivering.
Well, that's it, right? That we talk about players, and I think that it depends on the sport that we're talking about. Football, the coach is the most important person, and then it's the quarterback, right? Because you look at Bill Belichick, you look at the Andy Reid, you look at Mike Tomlin, you look at these guys, they go through a lot of different guys, but they're always pretty good. And then you look at these other teams, they go through a new coach every 2 years, and it never happens. You look at what happens with SC, where you have a guy like John McKay, everything's cruising along and everything's good. A bunch of players come and go, great players, don't get me wrong. John Robinson keeps the thing running just like that, and then, bang, it falls apart. And then they go through a bunch of these coaches. It doesn't quite work. You basically get lucky and stumble into Pete Carroll. Bang, it hits right away. That's what can happen when you get the right guy. You go through a bunch of the guys after Pete Carroll. You can't get it right. You can't get it right. You can't get it right. Clay Helton basically scuttles the ship, and now you have this husk of a program. But you heard me say it. They get the right guy in there, it's going to turn like that. Now, I didn't think it would turn in a year. I thought it might take a couple of. They got the right guy. They gave him a bunch of Malibu houses.
Yeah, that's yeah. Do you need
hey, look,
do you need a winery?
But they did what they're supposed to do. It was basically, hey, we'd like to hire. Look, I'm pretty good here in Oklahoma. What would you like? Well, it would take multiple houses.
Guys, it's not going to happen. Look at everything that
right.
It's going to take.
Right. Okay. We say yes to all of that. When can you be on the? Wait. You what? No, that's it. That's it. Okay, let's go. You're a new coach. Well, you said that's what you. Here, there you go. And he came in, and boom. Now look, they've got Notre Dame's good.
Yeah, they are.
That's going to be a problem.
Remember how much? Just use Notre Dame as they lost their. Want to say their first 2 games, and they were embarrassed in those first 2 games.
Yep.
Everybody's like,
I want to say it was 3, Al.
You might be right. It might be 3. But everybody's like, oh my gosh, Notre Dame is that bad?
They're fine.
They've been quietly
yes.
winning football games every single week since.
So you get Notre Dame, and then you're going to get Oregon, who's a good football team, too. Now, they can win both those games. They could also drop either one of those games. So this could turn pretty quickly. But here we are towards the end of November.
Yeah.
And we're having a conversation about not only is Caleb Williams, a Heisman Trophy candidate, he's the front runner, the odds-on favorite to win this thing.
Damn.
Got a chance to go to the Final Four. Even if, let's say they get, unlike, say, TCU's, whatever. Go to the Rose Bowl. Like there are very few endings to this that aren't incredibly satisfying in that first year, and it's Lincoln Riley, and still doesn't have a defense. I mean, they had to score nearly 50 points to win this game. That's going to become a problem at one point or another. But what an incredible ride that first season.
Yeah, but they're there, right? Like I'm with you. I mean, you and I have said this plenty of times. Like guys, you got to stop a team every once in a while because I don't know if you've watched any of these SEC schools. They actually get stops, and they could also score the ball. But just to go off of what you just mentioned, they're there. You know what's kind of crazy, too? I was telling this. Mason and I were having the conversation. Game's going on, and the vibe was just so awesome at the Rose Bowl. It really was. It was so awesome. Trev, I don't think we realize what's going to happen to college football in L.A. over the next couple of years. I mean, it's going to be.
I can tell you.
It's going to be incredible that there's going to be a weekend where, hey, Michigan's coming down to play UCLA at the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Hey, SC is traveling to Ohio State this upcoming weekend.
That'll be good.
But just think about that. Like the competition that we see in the Pac-12, it's the Pac-12.
Sure.
And the Pac-12, when you compare it to the top conferences, it obviously doesn't look nearly as good.
They
but
got
the
5 teams in the top 25.
Pac-12 is not a bad conference.
They got 5 teams in the top 25.
It's just you're trying to compare it to the SEC, which is a minor league team to the NFL.
Everybody loses that comparison.
But those games that will eventually happen, it's a Penn State, USC, or it's a Michigan or Ohio State. Damn, college football is going to change pretty fast here if UCLA is ever allowed to leave.
Well, UCLA is going to do what they do. I was giving Greg a hard time this morning because this is the most classic UCLA season that you're going to see. No, this year it's different.
Yep.
No, this year DTR, he's got his 9th year in the program. He's finally got this figured out. It's like, cool, I know you guys are better than you usually are. You've lost 3 of your last. The second people start to say, hey, are you 3 or 4 losses? This is what they do. We need to stop pretending that this is, no, they're getting close. No, guys, they've been doing this for 40 years. They lay an egg when it matters most. 3 of their last 4 games have been losses because that's what UCLA does.
Because people started talking about them.
Kinda, yeah.
I had
Mostly
a guy,
you, but people in general.
I had a guy that was your voice. I walked into the Rose Bowl, and I'm trying to kind of find the seats, everything, and it was your voice. And it was that age, too. I think the dude was probably, he could have been 25, maybe 30 at the most. Yeah. Hey, Slee, I listen all the time, man. Let's go Bruins. I'm like, I don't know if you know Trav, but Trav does the same voice
been a lot
all the time.
Been to a lot of those games, been around a lot of UCLA
I almost want to do a podcast with him. I'm like, hey.
I know those guys. I like those guys. I do.
Awesome.
I like them. They're friends of mine, but they're delusional. No, it's different. Yeah, you lost 3 or 4. Yeah, no. You're going to go back to the Aloha Bowl. No. You're going to go back to the Holiday Bowl. No, this is, you lost again. Stop it.
Bro.
Stop it. Just lean into it.
It gets better as you do it. Like when you first started doing it 4 minutes ago, I was like, that was all right. Now you're doing it, it's like you're
turned into Rocky Balboa at one point.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't know why, but I go, hey, Terry Donahue.
He was a Bruin.
Hey, Troy Aikman went to UCLA. Exactly. All right. I guess we have to talk about the Rams, right? Slee, they
play yesterday?
They did. Matthew
Are they still? They still have games?
They had a 10 o'clock kickoff. You might have missed it. They started a little earlier than they did.
Watched my Chiefs.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs, they showed up. They did what they did. They did exactly what you'd expect. We'll get into the Rams. We'll get into what you do with Matthew Stafford, which is pretty obvious to me at this point. It's all coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
A few hours after copious amounts of tacos had been devoured by the group and a lot of cocktails, the magical delivery happened to the Rogers household. It was quite on brand for one Travis Rogers. Check out that video on social media. Right now, check out more of Travis and Sliwa, your Monday on 710.
Chris and I stumbled into this thing, Slee, right? Where at the end of the night, when pizzas just show up randomly, it's like a totally game-changing event. That when we went to Key's backyard cookout thing at his club a few years ago, and they were winding the whole thing down, but not before they showed up with a bunch of pizzas.
And you guys had to wait till 9 or something like that, right?
Yep. Well, so now, Chris, when the night is winding down, the game's just about over, or it might even have been over at that point, and next thing you know, pizzas show up at the front door. And that's the video that you can see on my feed at Travis Rogers. You can see Morales' feed as well. So it's a pretty good way to end the night.
You look like you're in awesome shape right there.
I had a great time. And there's no better way to finish that sort of day than with
pizza,
a whole bunch of pizza.
And you're at home. And you don't have to do anything.
Go anywhere.
You have to do anything.
Terrific. It was terrific. And SC had won. I was in a good mood.
That's a good night
just
right there.
Just across the board.
By the way, everybody kind of relaxed here on Twitter. It was like, oh, now it all makes sense. Slee was room for UCLA. Says he's room for the Bruins. He's the ultimate cooler. I'm not kidding when I got there. Listen to me when I tell you this. When I got there, remember, UCLA put up 14-0 before you, whatever. I don't know how long it was into the game, but it was 14-0, okay? When I got there, SC just started scoring. All those people around me, hey, you're the good luck charm. You.
Little did they know.
Guys, I'm going for the underdog here.
Tim in the OC, the ultimate cooler. The moment Slee wanted UCLA to win, I knew USC was taking it. Give him a big hug and a thank you. So the SC fans are saying thanks. Aaron writes, I thought that the Trojans beat the Sliwa curse. You're telling me that he was rooting for UCLA? Yes. You said it on the air on Friday.
He's going for the underdog.
Right.
You know?
And they were ahead 14-0, and then just like everybody in the
pulled
stands
in.
probably went, ugh, like a little shiver down the spine. Like, what just happened?
I pulled in, and SC fans were like parting ways from me. Hey, make some room. Slee's coming. Have him sit down. Let him get comfortable. Let him get comfortable. Slee was here.
SC would have sent you a limo had you asked. You're rooting for the Bruins? Yeah, all right, here. Car will be there at 5:30.
Lincoln Riley sent me his private jet. Riley said, why don't you come stay in Malibu for a couple weeks?
Why not?
Make yourself at home.
The good times didn't last super long, Sleep, because the Rams game starts yesterday at 10.
Yeah. I love 10 a.m. games.
They're fine as long as your team's playing halfway decent. The Rams are not. They hit a big bomb to Tutu Atwell. You're like, all right.
Yep.
Here we go. 62 yards to Tutu. Ask me how many times Tutu Atwell's touched the ball as a Ram.
I think you guys were saying, weren't you guys saying it was twice?
Now it's 3.
Oh, my gosh.
Now it's 3.
How's that possible?
Well, they've only thrown it to him, I think, 4 times. It's hard to get it when they don't throw it to you. It's hard to get it when you're inactive every week. It's hard to get it when they don't call plays for you.
That's why Stafford just didn't throw to the sidelines if Kupp was there.
In his shorts and a tank top hair. Just
Matt,
stay hot.
He's not playing. No, but I saw him.
They had a drive. The 2-2-1 was kind of a quick strike, 62 yards, touchdown. It was a cool play. They get the ball back towards the end of the second quarter. They drive down the field. The Rams had a series, Slee, where they ran the ball 9 consecutive times. Let me say that again. The Los Angeles Rams, with Sean McVay as their head coach, ran the ball in 9 straight plays, okay? And guess what happened? It opened everything up, and now all of a sudden, Ben Skoranek is open. Van Jefferson is open. Allen Robinson is open. Tyler Higbee is open. You can throw into the backfield. And all of a sudden, tick, 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 they're moving down the field. He completed a pass to 7 different receivers in the first half. The guy that had the most was Jefferson with just 3, though. So the ball's getting spread around. Everything looks pretty good.
Yep.
And they have the lead at the half. And you're thinking, all right, no Kupp, but maybe this is kind of the key to unlock the rest of these guys, that there's no choice but to throw it to him. And then he gets concussed in the second half, and he leaves the game. He doesn't come back. Bryce Perkins comes in, and the game goes the way that it does. They end up losing the game, convincingly. And now here you are. You have to make a really important decision on what you're going to do with Matthew Stafford, because this is the second time he's had concussions in the last 3 weeks.
Pretty easy, but...
And you just shut it down. Is he done for the year? Because I certainly wouldn't put him out there anymore. But you've got 7 more games to play. It's not like you have 2.
How
you
about
got 7.
How about this? How about shut him down for the next couple of weeks? And then you could play it. You don't have to be forced to make a decision about the rest of the season right now. Shut him down for the next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks, you're not going to see Matt Stafford. Season has been over, but it's over, right? So it's not like you're 7-3 and trying to. No. You're 3-7. Sit him down. Don't make this a headache. Don't overthink it. Matt Stafford is dealing with concussion issues in today's NFL. Your squad is, I hate to say it, awful right now. Just awful. That's what they are. I was looking at. I think of the last of the 56 Super Bowl champs, something like it, 58 Super Bowl champs. Only 16 of them did not make the playoffs the following year, and it's not. This is even worse because it's not like, hey, you just didn't make it. They're 3-7. There's X amount of games left on the season. Why would you take a chance? Cooper Kupp, do you want to see him come back not 150%? No, of course not. There's nothing to play for. Matt Stafford, you want to see him in a position where he's coming back in a game that you're still kind of questioning whether he should be there or not? If you can make an argument of why you would have any of these guys back when the season is, it's blatantly clear right in front of us that the season is over, what's the argument? Like, how can you make a case to see him come back in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Do it in the final. If you want him to play a couple final games before the year ends, that's fine.
So David Edwards, their left guard, was out, missed a game because of a concussion, came back, got reconcussed, and they put him on the IR, right? So he's been out for 4 weeks. I'd be really surprised if that's not what happens here.
That sounds right.
So then when you come back and you'll have 3 games left at this point, and then you're in Allen Iverson territory for who, for what? What are we doing here? Because you look at the standings. The Houston Texans have 1 win. The Rams have 3. The Bears have 3. Carolina has 3. The Steelers have 3. The Broncos have 3. Cleveland has 3. The Raiders have 3. Jacksonville has 3. That's the company you're keeping right now. The worst part about all of this, you can't keep him safe, right? The reason Bryce Perkins played the entire second half is because John Wolford wasn't up and active. He wasn't even dressed because he had a neck injury because you got him banged up the week before. So it's not just, hey, let's just keep him. You can't keep him safe. And Bryce Perkins at least has the ability to run around a little bit, to create some safe space, to just run away from the trouble. Matthew Stafford is drop back in the pocket, sit down there, survey the field, and deliver the football. That's not what Bryce Perkins does. At least he's got a chance to run around the corner and save his own, skin. They have to take him out, never mind just for what happens in 2023, to keep him safe for the rest of this year. They can't do it.
All right, stay tuned to 710 ESPN every night for the Road to the Cup show presented by Estrella Jalisco. Your host, Dave Denholm, will dive into the most exciting matchups and all the drama around the FIFA World Cup. What do we got here? Another half hour or so, USA and Wales will go at it. Estrella Jalisco, proud supporters of Team Mexico. Let's cheer them on with an Estrella Jalisco beer in hand. Vamos, Mexico. Drink responsibly.
There you go. Vamos, Mexico.
Mexico.
There you go.
And I did the Spanish
Vamos,
part, and
Mexico.
then I was like, no, let's just do the American part after that.
No, look, who am I to correct anybody on that stuff? That's a bad guy move by me. What do you tell Aaron Donald? Hey, Matthew Stafford,
Mexico.
we're not going to play him. But Aaron Donald, you go play. Jalen Ramsey, you go play. Bobby Wagner, you go play. This is where it gets tricky, right? Because you're picking one guy over another. I know he's got concussion, so at least for the short term.
I was going to say that's the difference, right?
For the short term, yes.
These guys have, like, they have legitimate injuries that you have to be smart about. And I think if Aaron Donald was in a similar spot, if Aaron Donald was saying, guys, my left wrist is killing me, cool. Why don't you go take a seat here at the sidelines and let's call
Somebody
it a day.
should go look at his left wrist very closely and see if it's bothering him. So
it's fine.
Let me look again. Let me keep looking until we find something that's in there, because they've got They got Kansas City next week.
Yeah.
They got the Chiefs in Kansas City next week. Chiefs are firing on all cylinders. The Chiefs are doing.
No, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
No, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
All these games too. We were looking at the schedule before the season started, and we saw, like, okay, there's a schedule here, but it's not a schedule when you're 3-7.
No,
there is no whatever you thought before the season started to where we sit today. Just would be it'd be irresponsible to have some of these guys go.
Okay, real quick, you want to do a quick little game here, or should we do it on the other side? Let's do it on the other side.
Okay.
They're 3-7. They got 7 games left. How many games are they going to win? Mm-hmm. Because the number, believe it or not, might be 3. It might be 3. I don't think it's 3, but I think 3 is more likely than 6.
Yeah.
We'll get into it next. It's Trav and Slee, 7:10.
don't forget, today is $1 Million Monday. All you got to do is listen for the cue to call. Be caller number 7. You give us your prediction, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, and the final score. And if that happens, you win $1 million. Plus, you get Rams tickets just for playing, yo. $1 Million Monday. Keep listening all day long. Right here to 710 and to Travis and Slee.
You mentioned our picks that we're going to probably have to do tomorrow.
I think tomorrow.
Because some people started having some time off. Did you have a chance to go through the picks this week, Slee?
No.
Do you want to know who won?
Did I get one?
No, it wasn't you. Don't worry about you.
Don't set it up like that.
I thought you might want to know who it is.
Did you win?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't Taylor.
Emily.
Emily, not only did she win, she
Clean house.
Cleaned the whole board. 10-point week for her. Emily got all 4 of the games correct. 10 points. DeMarco, who we had as a guest picker, 1 point. DeMarco had
I can't read
1
you
point along the way.
because the way you set that one up, I'm like, you got 9. DeMarco got 9.
He got 1. He got SC in his 1 slot. Yes. Emily, can you? Is your Comrex working and back in South Carolina?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got. Oh, you sound like you're sick. You all right?
Yeah, I am. I'm not doing well. I had quite the flight over.
She had a red eye, Slee.
Definitely got sick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, just a cold, or you get something?
I think it's
plane
just
related?
like a head cold. It's just a head cold. But I had to put eardrops in the airport, and I probably looked like a crazy person to everyone there. But
Did you tell? Do you feel better that you cleaned house on the points?
Did you know that you had a perfect week?
I thought I did well. I didn't know I had a perfect week, but that's gonna make me feel better in an instant for sure.
10 points for her. So you are now comfortably in second place by yourself. You're now at 58. I only had 4 points this week. I go to 63.
Okay.
You had 4 points as well. So we both got our 4-point games correct, and nothing else. Nothing else. Taylor had 3, so he's still. Well, although you're not in last anymore. Farr is in last with 1. And if you think I'm not going to leave that up on the board for the rest of the season, you're not. You guys don't know me very well.
I'm definitely going to have to go back and take a listen to what my picks were.
That was my favorite
double
thing
check.
ever.
I just got to double
I don't think
check.
I had that. No, you did. Emily, would you? Yeah, no, I had the same thing you did too. I'm going to go back and listen. And sure enough, we were right.
It didn't take very long for me. Okay, I did take the
Thank
Raiders.
goodness for SC. By the way, that's the only one I got right. That was it. You only got the Saints right. And by the way, that's a little unfair.
Wait, what did I take? I took UCLA.
You took UCLA. You took the Broncos, and you took the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't cover. They won, but they didn't cover.
I hate this game.
It's hard.
Just got to get to the playoffs.
It's hard.
Just got to get to the playoffs.
So they got the Chiefs coming up this week, the Rams do.
Yeah.
I may have to, for the first time ever, not pick them. I basically picked against them last week by putting them in the 1 slot, just kind of punting on it. Mm-hmm. But the Chiefs, come on, man. Here's what the Rams have left, okay? They've got 4 road games. They've got the Chiefs, the Packers, the Chargers, and the Seahawks.
Okay.
They're not going to win any of those games, right? Maybe the Packers, because the Packers are having a terrible season too. But in Lambeau Field, Monday Night Football, it's going to be cold. And they're going to be playing their 3rd-string quarterback potentially.
Chargers are beat up as well, but Chargers should win that game.
Chargers are a lot better than the Rams right now. A lot better than the Rams right now. Their home games are the Seahawks, the Raiders, and the Broncos. So basically you're looking at the Raiders and the Broncos as the 2 teams that you can look at right now and say, okay, we got a chance. But the difference is Russell Wilson's, if he's still healthy, he's going to be playing. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr is going to be playing. Devontae Adams is still going to be playing. Like, their best guys are still going to be there. The Rams don't have Kupp. They don't have Stafford. Who knows who the quarterback will be? Who knows what the offensive line could be? You're looking at a situation where the Rams could be 5-12 at the end of the year, 4-13. This would be the worst Super Bowl defense in the history of the NFL if they can't get to 6 wins.
3-7, a lot of the teams that they're going to play. So Chiefs, obviously, it's an important game for them. They stay ahead of the AFC. Seahawks, we know what they're playing for. That's 2 games against the Seahawks. They got something to play for. I will say there are some matchups in there where, the Raiders aren't going anywhere. The Chargers are still in the mix, but that loss yesterday was devastating for them.
They're behind a bunch of teams now.
So I guess they could win a couple games. They win 2.
Or am I wrong about that? Is it the Broncos and the Raiders? Is there anything else? Can you give them a split with the Seahawks at this point? Because they're not going to beat the Raiders and the Broncos. They might beat one or the. Keep in mind, they will be using a backup quarterback almost assuredly.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is not going to be there. They're on their 5th left tackle of the season coming up this weekend probably. Their running back situation is a hot mess. Their defense is getting worse as the season goes on because they're out there all the time. They're just running out of gas. It's not going to get better moving forward. It's only going to go the other way.
So I will say this. You're not wrong. There's a good chance they lose most of these games. And I don't want to sound like an a-hole. It really doesn't matter anymore. Like, it just doesn't. Even if you were going to say, if they had their pick and it wasn't going to the Lions, and you're saying to yourself, okay, you know what, at this point, freaking lose these games. Start dropping these games, get a better draft pick, and that's all you're really going to pay attention to. I find it very difficult to look at any of these games and say to myself, does it really even matter at this point? Like the conversation that we were having about playing Stafford, not playing Stafford, before Cooper Kupp even got his injury. Should Kupp be in there in some of these games? Is he 100%? Is he not? Why is he in the final 2 minutes of a game when the game is over, it's a wrap? That's kind of going to be the conversation the rest of the way. That we're going to be looking at, do these running backs look okay? Do these wide receivers look okay? You're trying to kind of find a spotlight here and there, but whether they win 2 games or they win no games, it's still going to be one of the most disappointing teams coming off a Super Bowl championship ever.
Arguably the worst one. I mean, as far as win total goes, and there are obviously extenuating circumstances. But here's the rub, and this happens to half the NFL teams at one point or another, right? You're talking about 14 teams are in, which means there are 18 teams that are not in. And at some point you hit evaluation mode where the Rams are in evaluation mode. They're not going to get to the playoffs. There isn't really a path there that makes any sort of sense at all. So what do we have? Who do we use moving forward? Do we like this guy for our future plans or not? Can we live without this person or not? The problem is, how do you evaluate anybody when you don't have the ability to run any plays? How do I evaluate my wide receivers when the quarterback's running for his life the second he gets the snap? How do I evaluate what I like between Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson and Kyren Williams when there's nowhere for these guys to run? Mm-hmm. That's the problem. They can't even go into full-time evaluation mode because nothing works. Defensively, sure. You can go into evaluation mode on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, where in the world do you go from here? I don't even like saying this because it's such a bummer. But it really is just try to get out there and not get anybody blown up. That's kind of where they are at this point offensively.
It's that, and it's, I think you know enough about this team and some of the personnel to say to yourself, all right, if next season there is a healthy offensive line, if there is a emphasis on making sure, guys, you got to keep Stafford safe back there as best as you can. There's no team in the NFL that the line and the amount of people have come in and out of the line so far this season that's going to have success. I don't care how good your football team is. I don't care how good your quarterback is. Nothing this year went as planned. So you're not wrong on what you're saying about assessing certain things, but they know pretty much. They have a good idea of who they could depend on and who they can't based on either games earlier in the season or some of the guys that have been on the roster for a while.
So we're doing the game yesterday, and I said to Kirk, man, I wonder if they're going to be able to get Ty Nsekhe back. And he starts laughing. I'm like, what? He goes, I bet you that's a sentence you never thought you were going to say. Ty Nsekhe was not on this team to start the season. He's their 4th left tackle that they've run out there. And he went down yesterday too. And now Bobby Evans is out there. But guys that weren't even on the team, it's like, well, what are we going to do without him? Well, the same thing you were doing with him. The same thing that you were doing with the guy before him and the guy before him. That it's gotten to the point where the guy that you pulled off the street going down is like, now we're in trouble. It's not funny. You laugh because it's so painful to watch, but there is no functioning offense right there. I couldn't even tell you if Bryce Perkins played well or not yesterday. I have no idea. Because if I just said, okay, here's what I'm going to do, Slee. I'm going to throw you the ball, and within half a second, 300-pound guys are going to be within an inch of you trying to kill you. Go ahead and play some quarterback. You can't do it.
That's against the Saints, too.
Without Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan didn't play yesterday. Okay, so the Saints played without their number 1 defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league. He didn't play yesterday, and everybody was running for their lives.
You need me to get out there? Seahawks game? Want to throw on a Seahawks jersey? Tell me what you need.
You could probably get a sack or two if you were playing defensive line for the Seahawks.
No,
you could get out there.
It's more if I'm rooting for the Seahawks, everything will just start lining up for the Rams. Let me know.
You know what?
Need.
This is the ultimate. Don't do it against Kansas City. That save it for the Seahawks. Save it for the Raiders and the Broncos. Get on board and see if you can throw some of that.
Well, the Raider one, that's easy. Raider fans are going to start saying like, "Hey, Al, come out to a couple games."
Real quick analysis of the Raider game. You ready? Maybe we covered Devontae Adams in overtime. I don't know. Like, just
by the way, do you know when you're so open that there's that? The ball is just sitting in the air. Not Devontae Adams, but you know what I'm talking about.
Devontae Adams was open by 20 yards. Maybe, I don't know. It's overtime. If they score, a game's over. So maybe we put a guy on him.
Is there anything more baller than an overtime touchdown? And the first thing you do on the road is just
wave. It's pretty good.
Say bye to the fans. You guys should get out there.
What a mess. Ask Slee coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
All right.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Ask Slee.
Time for the segment everyone loves. Time for the segment Los Angeles loves. Ask Slee.
Ask Slee.
And Ask Slee this morning is presented by Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in Futter, California. From dining to unwinding, a trip to Futter, California is always a win. Are you game for a getaway? Start planning your trip by visiting harrahssocal.com. And it is time for Ask Slee.
877-710-ESPN if you'd like to get in on the phones for Ask Slee. Let me give it to you one more time. 877-710-3776. USA and Wales is about 13 and a half minutes away, so we'll keep you up to speed on that one. Slee, first up, Travis from LA Live has an Ask Slee.
Hey, thanks for reaching out.
What was the breakdown at the game like? Was it mostly SC fans? Because on TV, it looked like there were a lot of Trojan people in that building.
No, I actually thought UCLA represented pretty well. I would say, so where I'm sitting, you had the student section to your left. I actually think it was probably like a 55-45 UCLA.
Really?
Yeah, I thought there was, I mean, my angle was only UCLA fans, so maybe I'm just kind of from my angle, my perspective. But I thought there was a lot of UCLA fans there. At worst, it was a split. At worst, a split.
I think that's one of the rare times where I think that's okay because it's here locally and the stadium holds 100,000 people or 90
no, it was great.
Or whatever it is.
It would be, listen, if UCLA had 3 wins on the year, it'd probably be completely different. But both teams had something to play for.
UCLA's got to get those banners down in the end zone. Those where they covered up all those seats. There should be people sitting in those.
I was saying to myself, why? I get it when they don't think they're going to sell out,
right?
But they sold out.
Yeah, no.
So why not open up?
It felt like you could have sold those, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Next year will be different. Bruins, you're gonna. Chip Kelly just needs a little more time.
I don't know you guys saw though.
3 out of 4, of course.
Damn
it's
it,
just
UCLA.
it's just so on brand. I like, you know what's fun? Being right. I like that a lot. Darb in the OC, Trav, does Slee understand his power? Hashtag Ask Slee.
Nope. Not at all. If he's talking about, I'm assuming what he's referring to here is when I go to games. Listen, for all the fans out there that think that I just freaking ice every team, let me remind you something. The Lakers beat the Pistons and the Spurs over the weekend. All right?
They're on a 3-game
That's a 3-game winning streak.
3-game heater. Don't throw the nets
Everybody
aside.
freaking back up here for a second.
They are 5-10 though. Or is it 5-12?
Yeah, but they're 3-0 in the last week. So if you did new standings right now on ESPN,
yeah, that would be an interesting way to do it.
Just be for the week.
Just redo them every day. Somebody's 1-0, somebody's 0-1.
You know they do
day.
new power rankings on Monday.
Uh-huh.
If the Lakers did not shoot up to number 1 after that 3-0 week,
so
then ESPN is wrong.
Part of the thing that makes, I have a buddy that's a little bit like you when it comes to, he's just the ultimate cooler. Like the second he says something, the opposite immediately happens.
Sure.
Right? What makes it so much fun is that him, much like yourself, you have no idea what's about to happen, and you just throw these things out into the universe, and everything gets spun up.
Can I say this?
Degrees. It's terrific.
I went to one playoff game of the Dodgers and the Padres. I went to the one that they lost.
Thank God you did.
I went to the one that they lost.
They would have gotten swept. Had you not gone, the Dodgers would have been 3 and out.
That's
like
right.
that.
That's
what
right.
A mess.
Maybe you are right.
Darren Pollock writes, please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. Why do menu options keep changing? Hashtag Ask Slee.
God, that's such a good point, too. Do you ever try to kind of guess what's going on here? Oh, I just press 0. I'm good.
Right.
A couple things can happen. You can press 0, and it goes straight to an operator, and you're like, got him. You can press 0, and it just hangs up. The phone will just hang up. That it's like, no, 0 means you're done. We're not talking anymore, and the option is over. 0 can also get you back to square one. I don't know why. I don't know why the options change. But I'm hitting 0 the first time around, and if I fail, I fail. I'm here. You can't bat 1,000.
What? Okay, so you know that one of my favorite things, or not favorite things, if you just gave me like universal power to change whatever I want, and I'm stealing this from one of my buddies because it's a great idea. Every grocery store should be laid out exactly the same. So if you walk into a grocery store in St. Louis, Missouri,
doesn't matter.
You know exactly where everything is, whether just like you're walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Number 2 is, why can't we standardize the option tree?
It's a great idea.
Everything the same.
Yep.
0 and 1 is to
1 is repeat
billing,
everything. 2 is everything.
Just standardize it. It doesn't seem super
That way we don't have to
complicated.
think about everything.
Daniel, when using GPS on your phone to get somewhere, do you try to beat the estimated time, and do you celebrate when the mission is accomplished?
Let me give you a great example. On Saturday night, I leave Studio City around, it's like 5:02, 5:03. My phone says you're going to get to Pasadena at 5:43. I'm like, oh, am I? Am I?
Watch this.
Yeah. You know what time I got to Pasadena?
I do.
5:43.
5:4. I was going to say it's either 5:43 or 5:44. Those things are never wrong.
They're never wrong, and it's so stupid trying to beat the GPS because basically you're risking your life to win by 30 seconds. I'd rather not win by 30 seconds and go ahead and take the L.
The worst is when you're driving and say you're getting there 5:43 and you're cruising. You're 90% of the way there, but you still have 25 minutes to go. You're like, wait, I'm going to beat this by 20 minutes.
Yep.
Never. They know what's around the corner before you've even seen it.
They know the lights that I'm going to hit on Colorado. They know it 30 minutes before. They already know it.
I was driving.
Somebody hits a crosswalk. They've already.
They see him coming down the street. They've already watched him coming down.
They've timed it all.
They know how fast he's moving. They know where he's going, so they know which streets he's going to cross from for sure.
It's pretty funny.
I was driving back from Arizona for one of Michael's baseball trips, and we're in the middle of the desert, right? In the middle of nowhere between Phoenix and L.A., and I'm still a few hours out of Palm Springs. Like, we just crossed the California-Arizona border, and the arrival time at my house was, like, say it was 4 o'clock. Drive another hour, and it says 4:55. I'm like, well, we've driven for an hour, and you've added an hour of time. I'm thinking, okay, the thing's haywire. I reboot it. 5:52, and we're flying. We're going 85 miles an hour through the middle of the desert. There's nobody there. That's the worst feeling in the world because you know that it's happening.
Something's coming.
There's no way to get around it. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you can say, oh, I'll jump over to the 405 or the 605 or the 210. You are in the middle of nowhere, and the thing is shut down, and you're trapped. That's a fun day.
No, thank you.
You have
Ask Slee.
Whoa, that's the computer version of that. I like that. You have to eat the same food for a year. What would be your choice? Hashtag Ask Slee.
Am I caring about health here, or
You got to make it through a year. You can only eat one thing. You got to make it through a year. It's got to be a healthy choice, right?
I don't know. Does it? I'm gonna go through I'm gonna go with a very standard one here. Okay, it's gonna be one of these two things. It's going to be some type of a sandwich, all right? So it's either going to be a PB&J or it's going to be just your traditional turkey sandwich, some cheese, some if I'm
three meals a day for 365 days?
If I have to do 3 meals a day, I'm actually going to go with a turkey sandwich.
It's not a terrible choice.
Because at least it's kind of like, all right, it's not going to be great. It's going to get the job done. I got to eat it again. PB&J, it's just so I'm already thirsty. Like, I'm already thirsty thinking about the PB&J. I'm already thinking about how much milk that I have to drink in order to take down one PB&J.
A lot of salt in it.
Well, and not only that, you would be perpetually malnourished.
Yeah.
There's only, a little bit of protein in the peanut butter, but that's about it. It'd have to be some sort of salad,
you can't go
right?
pizza. You can't go.
No. It's got to be like
pizza.
Every day for a year?
I think. Yeah, you would have died.
You might be able to.
You would
I
have
couldn't
died.
do it. I don't think I could do it for a week.
I would die. I could do it for a week. Yeah,
some,
a week, no
some
problem.
sort of salad with like some grilled chicken on it, right? You get a little veggies, you get a little protein. I got to pick a dressing.
Enchiladas.
Just trying to get to the end of the line and not die, not have coronary artery disease.
Why are you eating enchiladas at 7:30 in the morning?
Because
it was Slee.
I don't think I could do it every single time. Here's one for you, Slee. Status on the suicide. Oh, actually, that's one for me. I'm still alive.
You are still alive.
I am still alive. Not only am I still alive, if the 49ers get upset tonight, if Arizona can beat the 49ers in Mexico City, I win the whole thing. Because the other two guys both have the Niners. So if Arizona can win tonight, I win the whole thing. If not, we roll it into another week.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So Slee, I really need you to be a 49er fan tonight. I really need you. Go buy a George Kittle jersey. Go buy some Christian McCaffrey trading cards and really get into the Niners for me.
Oh, I'm into that. I'm good. They took down the Chargers a week ago on national television. I love the Niners.
Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, World Cup is about to kick off, and Slee, you just mentioned it. Lakers are hot. Should I get excited or should I temper my enthusiasm? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
It's 9 hours of LA sports talk all day long. Each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Kickoff right around the corner, Slee. We're getting closer to USA v. Wales. Gareth Bale from LAFC on the other side today. That's the extent of my Wales soccer team knowledge.
Bad. That's pretty good.
That's one guy. I'll know him, Bale. And then, the Americans, we'll see. We didn't even make it last time, so I feel like we've already advanced to a certain point of American soccer.
I did watch the entire documentary. Finally got to see it, that FIFA one.
Oh.
Timing of it was, this is the one
The
on...
corruption one?
Yeah, this is the one on Netflix. 4 episodes. Kind of cranked them out between Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess nothing crazy. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. Some of that stuff just doesn't surprise me or shock me. The bribes, the taking cash, the Russia and Qatar win the bid because they are the perfect places to do the World Cup, and then we had to move it to November because the weather's really bad in Qatar. It didn't shock me.
No stadiums. They had to build all of them from the ground up.
Built 9 stadiums, which they will do nothing with once the World Cup is over.
The thing that blew me away more than anything, I was listening to a pod the other day, is that the entire scheme was written down. Like, there's records of all these payments going on. All these. It's like, well, that's unusual. Like, the mob doesn't keep books, so they know who this guy's paid off to. This. Like, well, that's a totally different way
they
to do
would.
it.
Hey, just if we can get your vote, we'd greatly appreciate it. There's $1.5 million coming your way. Use that for football reasons.
Football reasons. That's
Use
not a
that
bad
for
way of doing
football
it.
reasons. That's the way they were doing it.
Jason Levine writes, a cheeseburger is a perfectly balanced food item. I'm just saying. Slee, you know how much I love to eat cheeseburgers.
You're going to tell me in 2 weeks you're still going to...
2 weeks? Imagine if you had to eat a cheeseburger 3 times a day for 3 days in a row.
I think I'd go 2 weeks.
No, not a chance. Not a chance.
Don't you tell me.
Give it a shot. I could just see you coming
I don't
in
win
here
anything.
on Wednesday just like,
What was that?
Supersize Me. Have you
That's
seen
what I was
that?
going to say,
Come on.
Supersize Me.
yeah, that went well.
That dude did not look good.
Really? Yeah,
He did not look
Wasn't
good.
a great way to do it. USA, Wales, just about to kick off. Guys are on the field in literally any second now. So if anything super exciting happens, we'll give you an update on that. Are the Lakers hot? Are the Lakers playing bad teams? Is Anthony Davis back? Is he playing against a bunch of scrubs? What exactly is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you. And thank you so much for asking. All right, so they won 3 in a row. So Brooklyn Nets, the Pistons, and the Spurs, 3 games that Lakers won. So with all that, Trav, 5-10 on the year. And they got an interesting game coming up against the Suns tomorrow. So I give you my thoughts on this. I can make a case for each one of those wins. I could tell you, okay, Brooklyn did not have Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, and Nick Claxton, their big guy, left in, I can't remember if it was the second or the third quarter. So, and they're coming off a back-to-back playing the Clippers. Okay, put that to the side. But just a heads up, I want you to know that when they beat the Brooklyn Nets, that's what you were facing in Brooklyn. You beat the Pistons on Friday. Pistons did not have 35 and 12 between Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart, two of their starters. Isaiah Stewart is their big man. Both of those guys didn't play.
And Cade Cunningham's their best player.
It's their best player,
Yeah.
and they're coming off back-to-back against the Clippers. They played the Clippers the night before. Yesterday against the San Antonio Spurs, Jakob Poeltl didn't play. That's their big man. And the Spurs are just not a good team. And they're also coming off a back-to-back against the Clippers the night before as well. I can make a case that the Los Angeles Lakers had a really, really nice, fortunate stretch of 3 games where they played 3 teams that are not that good, 3 teams that are missing a lot of key players, and the Lakers took advantage of it. So I want to give them credit because they won 3 games in a row. If you're the Lakers, you're 2-10 starting that stretch. Nobody's giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to go out and win those games. So I'm going to give them that benefit of the doubt. But I also refuse to get excited about the Lakers at 5-10 based on those circumstances that I just said. Now, if you tell me that Wednesday, come back into the studio, and the Lakers beat the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, and it's DeAndre Ayton on the other side, and it's Devin Booker on the other side, and it's a team that most think are going to be competing for the Western Conference and a chance to go back to the NBA Finals. If you tell me they walk away tomorrow with a W against the Phoenix Suns, then our conversation would be different. But as of right now, it's take your 3 wins, cash them in because you had such a tough schedule to start out the year, and you lost some games that you were hoping that you can win. Take it, great, fantastic, but I'm not also going to get overly excited based on some of that I laid out.
Overly excited, no, but I am going to get a little excited. I'm going to get a little excited because this was the team that was 2-10. This was a team that looked terrible. It wasn't just that they were 2-10 and losing a bunch of games. They looked bad doing it. Right?
How they were losing.
How they were losing, and it just looked like, okay, this team might not win 25 games. It looked like it was that bad of a team, of a roster. Nothing about it looked encouraging. Everything that you said is right. This team's missing these guys. The next team's missing these guys. They're back-to-backs. All the things.
Lakers had Braun out.
At least they won.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And because, look, maybe they'll have another 3-game winning streak at some point in the season. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But you got to take them where you can get them. And I'm going to switch the streams here just a touch. I want to go back to a Rams game a couple of weeks ago when they were playing Tampa. Tampa felt like they were dead in the water. Tom Brady was lifeless. There was no buzz, nothing going on with those guys. And they pull a rabbit out of the hat and beat that team. And all of a sudden, what's happened since then? Tampa's got a little spark. They got a little life. They're kind of moving through it now. Are they great? No, but they're playing a lot better because they got a little bounce in their step. What happened to the Rams? The Rams had a win in the palm of their hand that they let slip through their fingers, and since then, it's been a death spiral for the rest of the way, right?
Yep.
A couple of wins, even if it's a win because the other guy blew it or the other guy didn't have their best guy or the other guy was coming off of a back-to-back, there's still wins, and you can start to build some momentum. And I don't care if Anthony Davis is going up against other teams that didn't have their big guys. He's been really good.
Yep.
He's looked like Anthony Davis, so I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. Now, when you're right, against Phoenix tomorrow night, it's a totally different assignment. DeAndre Ayton and everything else. I'm going to enjoy this because I don't know how many of these are coming along, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of positivity in the air, a little bit of expecting to win starts to permeate this group, and who knows what happens after that. Confidence is a real thing.
You should, and you're not wrong on that the confidence stuff, you should enjoy it. And I'm not saying that Laker fans should not enjoy a 3-game winning streak. It's nice to also get some, doing the post-game show, getting a couple calls and saying, hey, I really like the way Austin Reeves is playing. I really like the way Lonnie Walker's contributing. These last 2 games, they had 6 guys in double figures on Friday, 7 guys in double figures yesterday. I like that there's some threats there. There's some balance. Thomas Bryant came back. Dennis Schroeder came back. They've been nice kind of additions to play their own specific role. I'm with you on all that.
Yeah.
All of it. But I want to be excited about the Lakers. And I'm not kidding when I tell you this. Do you know where I would get excited? Is if tomorrow they pulled up to Phoenix and played some good basketball. Just because you want to see it against a good team and you want to see them just reach a moment of the season, even though it's early on, where you can at least just turn around and say, Lakers won 4 in a row and they won in Phoenix. They won in Phoenix. That's the only one that you want something. If they come out
LeBron
tomorrow.
gonna play tomorrow night? Do we know?
Questionable. Still questionable. If they come out tomorrow, by the way, Chris Paul's not playing, neither is Cam Johnson. So they're missing a couple key guys. Who cares? They went and blew out the Golden State Warriors without those guys.
Yeah.
But I say that because you want a moment in the Lakers season. You didn't have it at any point last year. You just want a moment where you can say, guys, I'm not telling you that the Lakers are the best team in the last count. But you know what? They had 3 wins in a row, and then they went to Phoenix and beat a good Phoenix team. Just give that, and if they lose by 20 tomorrow, it kind of takes away from some of that momentum that they were building.
It does, but
or make it a good game.
The part that's interesting to me too, aside from just that they're winning, that they've won those games without LeBron James. They've won those games with Anthony Davis very clearly being the number one option, and
the focal point.
We're going to do it, and he's got to go out there and carry the load. He's got to be the guy that scores the points. He's got to be the guy that defends the rim. He's got to be the guy that gets the rebounds, and he's been doing it. And it's a little different. It feels a little bit different this time because we've seen when LeBron's gone out before, Anthony Davis will have a game and then he'll disappear. He'll have a game and then he'll disappear. This has been, and again, I'm fully aware that it's a 3-game sample against the circumstances.
That's okay. His numbers have been, those are monster numbers.
They're monster numbers, and they're monster numbers without LeBron on the court. It's very clear how they're going to go about doing this. I'm not only because Phoenix is a better team, but whether it's against Phoenix or I think they have San Antonio again after that, right?
2 in a row against the Spurs, 3 or 4 games.
So if LeBron is back and all of a sudden it looks a little bit different, I think all of a sudden you have a very different conversation because
explain to me.
It just kind of looked better without him. It looked. Now I'm not saying they're a better team without him. I'm saying that looked better without him. And maybe it starts to inform some of your choices moving forward. Maybe it starts to, you think, okay, but look, I know that the plan was AD starts to take over and then LeBron starts to, take a more of a secondary role in this team. Maybe we start doing that a lot sooner than later, and maybe that secondary role isn't even a secondary role for whatever's coming next season or the season after that, because he's not getting any younger. He's missing. I mean, they played 15 games. He's missed a significant handful of them. This is not going to become less frequent. It's going to become more frequent. Him missing time along the way. Kind of interested to see how Anthony Davis looks when he just has a clear field, a clear runway to go out there and do his thing every night.
It's funny. I really don't think LeBron James. I'm going to use as an example. LBJ when he was playing with the Miami Heat. I know it's a long time ago, but I don't think LeBron cared if Dwayne Wade or Chris Paul win these games. We've got to win these games.
Yeah.
Right? In Cleveland, it was different. He was the guy, and there was really nobody else there. We've kind of said this before with Anthony Davis. Are you going to start taking over games or not? Because I have lost faith that you're going to take over games because I think you're a 22-9 guy, and you really didn't kind of have that impact in the game. The stats are there. The stats look okay. And these last, at least this few stretch, which LeBron has not been there. So there is no other option. It's, guys, we got no shot unless you give Anthony Davis
impact. It's
stats
both.
And impact.
It's not just, he was okay. No, not if you watch the game, he wasn't. He might have had 24 and 10, but I watched that and I didn't feel him once. These are not only monster stats. These are, who's the best player on the
free throw line.
It's him. He had 18 in the first quarter last night? I mean, it was
18 in the first. Yep.
Yeah, it just was. Oh my gosh! And I get it. Spurs stink.
He only played 28 minutes.
Yeah, but it was an incredibly powerful performance from him, not just statistically, but his impact on the bottom line. Let's try a phone call here. Glendora, Mark, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, Mark?
Hey, gentlemen. I think your both honesty is refreshing because it cannot be easy to have. You guys have courage because you're on the Laker channel, and for you to bring these subjects up has to be kind of scary to you. Maybe, I don't know, but I love the honesty. I totally agree with Sliwa on the quality of the teams they just played. Absolutely. I liked what Travis said last week about the reality of the team, and now you're talking about the future, and that's really the hope of every Laker fan. Anthony Davis is healthy now. Now get him to somewhere while he's healthy where you can get the most stuff before you know what's going to happen. It's clear. Sell high. I heard a show from you guys a long time ago. You sell high. Sell high means when he's healthy. It's real simple. When he's healthy, get the most you can. I love your honesty. Please keep it up. You're the only chance we got. Love you.
Thanks, Mark. I don't know if you're selling high after 3 games, but
you're not.
You're not.
No.
It's going to take more than 3 games. It could take 3 months. That's a different conversation. Where let's say that they step it up in competition. You're playing against much better teams, but Anthony Davis is still playing like that. Maybe you're not winning a bunch of them, but you're seeing that. That's a totally different question, because that point it's like, hey, look, that's the guy that we've been waiting for. At that point, I don't think I want to move him, because there are no guys like that are just going to get back. There are no guarantees in this draft. We know that. So you're not getting those sorts of players, especially where the Lakers are going to end up picking, because they have to pitch swap with New Orleans. If he continues to play like this, the conversation becomes far more complicated.
Well, we've said this, and I think this goes with every sport. Where's your franchise going? If you're in complete rebuild mode, let's just say, Trav, I'm going to just talk out of my you-know-what. Let's say 8 months from now, the Lakers front office decides we're in the offseason. Lakers didn't make the playoffs. AD had a really good season, okay? But Lakers didn't make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they decide, guys, that window is over. That the Lakers won an NBA championship with those guys. That window is over. It makes more sense for the franchise to start selling off some of these assets, go accumulate picks, and you're just going to completely rebuild. Or, no, AD was really good this year, and they made the playoffs, but they just don't have enough talent around. Then it's a different conversation. So I think that all kind of depends on what ends up happening.
It gets far more complicated the better they play. Like if they bottom out, it's easy. That's the easy conversation. If they play well, especially if Anthony Davis plays well, all of the things you thought you knew, maybe you don't know anymore.
All right, this is kind of sad, but it's the truth. I'm not kidding. Winning 3 games in a row, just how last season went and how this season has started, there has been a quick second. You're saying to yourself, please tell me there's something. Please tell me there's something.
He looked really good for a week. You said it on
35 and 16s every night.
They played on Sunday, and then they didn't play again until Friday, right?
Yep.
And you're like, do you remember he had the 38 point? You're like, let's see what he not only did he do it again, he did it 2 more times. Look, we get to 5. Can we pretend that it's real? We'll see.
All right, during this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of Americans fallen or disabled military and first responders. Event is taking place on Friday, December 9th at Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Linda. If you'd like to participate and purchase a green fee, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
All right, we got some calls on Anthony Davis that I want to get into. And Cody Bellinger, he's a free agent. Dodgers said thanks, but no thanks. Where do you go from here? That's coming up. It's Trav and Slee, 710.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Monday. Don't forget, today is $1 Million Monday. All you got to do is listen for the cue to call. Be caller number 7. You give us your prediction, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, and the final score. And if that happens, you win $1 million. Plus, you get Rams tickets just for playing, yo. $1 Million Monday. Keep listening all day long. Right here to 710 and to Travis and Slee.
Kansas City would be a good pick for $1 Million Mondays if you are a lucky number caller when we do that. But the Rams, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably less of a
changed
pick.
every week.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a great idea.
A little all over the place, too. Remember how Buffalo was kind of dominating the picks? It's a little quieter
Allen
now.
keeps throwing interceptions.
I know.
It's tough when your quarterback keeps giving it to the other team.
But we are basically everyone was crowning them a month into the season, right?
Yeah. Kansas City has the best. By the way, so
just like
watching Sunday Night Football last night, and Herbert throws that unbelievable pass to Keenan Allen. Just a beautiful completion. 3rd and 18. I think they picked up like 42 yards. Super impressive play. They end up scoring a touchdown 2 or 3 plays later. I turned to Susan. I said, Chargers are definitely going to lose. Because there's a minute 37 left, 3 timeouts for Patrick Mahomes. This is a wrap. And it took him It took him about a minute of that time to go down there, get in there. Kelsey did what he does. Mahomes is in that zone where, that's way too much time. Anything more than a minute with a timeout or 2, he's going to find a way to do it. And that wasn't even like the Chargers charging it, maybe a little bit, but that was just, I don't care who's on the other side. Mahomes was going to do that.
But you knew the result. And I think there is something about the Chargers charging it. They're in games. It's not they're getting blown out, but you're saying to yourself, yeah, they're probably going to lose that game.
5-5 right
5
now.
and 5.
Chargers.
Yeah, and there are a lot of teams in front of them too. So that's just that's the AFC right now.
They got to get over the Jets, and the Bengals have the last spot right now. The Jets are in the 8th spot, and then it's the Chargers are 1 game ahead of the Colts.
Am I the only one in the NFL? You said that Keenan Allen reception. Why do I love the creativity of guys when they get a first down? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
So some guys will just go, pop, first down, right?
Uh-huh.
Other guys will hold the ball and just drop it.
I like that one. That's a good one.
All of them have something, and I don't know what it is. Every time I see a first down, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty badass.
I have a feeling you and I watch football very differently.
I'm waiting for like a
Rocky kind of a combination.
Just a first down.
The referee, speaking of like guys that were kind of styling it, the referee on the Rams game yesterday is like Mr. Olympia. He had the biggest guns I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
When he, like holding on the Rams and point back this way, dude's bicep looked like a tire. It was unbelievable.
He's calling penalties that don't even exist just so he could.
He's doing it like this. He's doing that, then just pointing this way. First down.
Holding.
He was so
Why
big.
is he holding his?
I love that. I wish I should have written his name down when I saw it last night. It was awesome. I'm like, that dude is putting in the time.
Personal foul.
Long Beach and Marvin. Marvin, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up?
Hey, Trav. I just wanted to mention that Anthony Davis right now's play is amazing, but he's just equivalent to Dwight Howard in Taiwan. And he's just killing it over there.
Dwight had a good day in Taiwan. He had like 50 rebounds.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's just as of right now, they only played three teams that are not that great. So, yeah.
Marvin, by the way, I think, listen, it's okay to feel either way. You can walk away seeing Anthony Davis have those 3 performances and say to yourself, AD is back, guys. Anthony Davis looks good. It's not just offensively or it's not just defensively. You can have that stake in it. But I think you could also lean a little bit where I am, saying, AD, that was cool. That was awesome. That's great 3 days for you. Great 3 games for you. There's real competition in the West. You haven't faced it in this last week. Can you get one of those nights against DeAndre Ayton and a well-coached, smart Phoenix Suns team that you know are going to throw double teams at you and do this and do that? And if he comes out of that game with a 22 points, 9 rebounds, got to the free throw line 4 times, he had a block and a steal, then I'm going to instantly go back and say, okay, well, AD didn't do it against the Phoenix Suns. If he comes out tomorrow, the most important stat is, did you win the game or not?
Sure.
But if he comes out tomorrow, he's the main focal point. He's putting up big-time numbers where you feel his presence. DeAndre Ayton has 3 fouls in the first first quarter and a half because he's got no answer for him. If it's one of those nights and the Lakers beat the Phoenix Suns, then I think the calls would be a little bit different. You could start having a little bit different of a conversation.
So, sometimes when you'll go, like maybe most of the day and you haven't eaten anything, right? And you get home and you just put like a little cheese on crackers or something like that, or just put a spoonful of peanut butter, just something super simple. You're like, that might be the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Yes. Right? You know that moment? It's because...
happened last night after the Lakers. Yeah.
Sure.
Didn't matter what it was.
Sure. That's where Anthony Davis is right now. It's one of those, look, I haven't seen this in a while. I'm going to enjoy it. This is the saltines and peanut butter after not eating all day. Is it the best meal in the world? No, because of all the extenuating circumstances you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it, though, right now, because I haven't seen him do this.
Fair.
In a year?
Yep.
I mean, literally, about a year since we've seen Anthony Davis have a real impact on these games. You're not wrong. It is saltines and peanut butter based on the competition, but it's really good considering what we've seen. And I'm going to enjoy it. Now it's going to be a little bit more of a complete meal tomorrow night against the Suns, but I think that's what it is. When you haven't seen a guy that was, for a very long time, considered a great player in this league, and now is not considered that, when he shows you 3 games in a row, even if the competition is inferior, I'm not going to automatically flush it. He might get, DeAndre Ayton may eat him for lunch. It could happen, right? Maybe it won't, but I'm going to enjoy these 3 games because I haven't seen it in a very long time.
You enjoy those 3 games, but tomorrow when you pull up the Mastros and you're waiting for that steak to come out, you want that steak to taste a certain way because the quality of the steak is supposed to taste a certain way, and we'll see what happens
I would get
tomorrow.
the seafood tower at Mastros. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
The steaks are very good there, but that seafood tower, you don't want to sleep on that, Slee. It's a tower of seafood. It's like a pyramid. It's got all these different, like there's some oysters.
How come they don't have a steak tower?
I'm sure if you asked nicely, they'd put it together.
Just put there's prime rib fillet holding up.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so the fillets would be on the top because they're the smallest. Then that's one down here, maybe some strips, some New Yorks, and then as we go down towards the bottom,
is
prime ribs, right? It's prime, or the tomahawk for 2.
The
bone-in ribeye.
That has to hold everything together.
And then you make the base out of T-bone steaks that you just basically tie them all together, truss them together.
You're welcome, Mastros.
I'm full of ideas.
You're welcome.
Full of ideas.
I told my good idea folder.
I told Michael yesterday. So starting the pregame show, and I naturally AD's going to come up. He had done this for 2 games. I'm like, Michael, what do you take away from AD the last 2 games? I'm so sick of you talking about Anthony Davis. He's like, he's done it for 2 games. Why don't you come back to me when AD does this? I'm like, I get it, Michael. But that's the thing, is he doesn't do it that. It has not been on a consistent basis, and he's not wrong. What Michael was saying is this is how it's supposed to be every night. But it's not every night.
It hasn't been. I understand that this was your vision of what you were hoping it would be.
But it hasn't been that.
But it hasn't.
Yeah.
So when he starts to give you a little bit, I'm not going to just be, where's this? Hold on. Yes, it would have been nice had we had this for the last couple of years, but we haven't. Mm-hmm. But at least let us live in the dream sequence where maybe this is the beginning of the next chapter. Maybe it's not. Maybe the alarm's going to go off tomorrow. 7 o'clock tip?
7 p tip tomorrow.
Okay, so 7 o'clock tip tomorrow. It's like, yeah, we're right back where we were. Maybe, but at least we can pretend that it might not be.
So I had to punt right away. I'm like, let's go to Lonnie Walker. He's been really good, good role player.
No, we're going to talk about AD. We're going to break down his stats. I don't care. Was it Jakob Poeltl? Is that a real guy, or did you make him up?
No, he's one of the. Believe it or not, here. Ready?
Sure.
Really good defensive center.
I'll believe. Sure. You could have said anything.
He's been the conversation of maybe Lakers make a trade. That's been one of the guys.
I can't wait. Where do I buy my season tickets? Hey, everybody. A lot of people
think he's halfway between Hakeem and Patrick Ewing. It's like molding those two together.
I'm sure it's very, very similar. Emily, are you going to make it for Factor Cap? You're suspiciously quiet today. I'm worried about you a little bit.
She's
you
not even there anymore.
Word.
She left.
I just don't have a voice. That's the main thing.
It's radio. You're fine.
I can do it. I got it, guys.
I'm looking at her on the Zoom, and I saw her when she heard her name. She kind of like, what?
So.
Oh, yeah. What? Okay.
No, UCLA, everything's changing this year.
Just want to make sure. Get some tea, get some honey, get ready to go. Factor Cap.
This guy, 6-game winning streak. This guy. 6-game winning streak.
There it goes.
I'm going to start cheering for the Kings. I'm going to start cheering for the Kings.
Just a big bucket of ice water on your Kings right there. Factor Cap coming up.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
We're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back. First of all, it's not a cap. It is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey, guys. I was greeted this morning by a balmy 25 degrees when I got off the plane this morning. So that's super fun. But I did get my favorite fast food restaurant here. It's called Bojangles. Best biscuits and fried chicken. Was amazing. So,
What time did you land?
So I landed at 6.
Oof.
And so then I got to Bojangles at 6:30.
Bring some back with you. Bring some back with you. We'll be ready to eat it on Monday.
I will. It's going to be nice and stale. So what was funny to me is that I was, sitting here getting ready for the show today, and then I heard phone go off. And I just realized that my aunt and uncle have a home phone still. I didn't think that still existed. So you still have a home phone, Travis. Factor Cap.
Fact. And here's the thing. It's not even hooked up. I don't know the number. No one in my family knows the number. No one has called that thing for I don't know how many years. And every time I said to Susan, I'm like, why do we still? Just don't worry about it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Why?
Bro.
Why? I mean, I'm sure it's not free. Maybe
it's
it
an
is.
emergency.
I don't. But we don't even have a phone to plug into it. Maybe it's somewhere in the garage we do. But yeah, we still have it. I could not, for the life of you, tell you what that phone number is.
All right, so I do not. It's Cap. I do not have my parents' house. They do, so they got the home number there, 619-5. Okay, I'm not about the number, but it was close.
We only got
right there.
six.
Yeah, that
only
was close.
got six more to figure.
That was
out.
close right there. They not only have it, my mom uses it all the time. She does have a cell phone as well. I think it's, it's a generational thing.
My mom and dad have one.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to go away. I think yours probably. You know how the mob used to make calls from payphones and stuff like that, so they just couldn't track them? That might be, you might have something there. You might have a line there that nobody knows about that can probably wire fraud money.
You were going to say your folks' number. How many phone numbers do you remember? Like if your phone died and you had no way to get your contacts back, how many people could you call?
Lady Slee.
You know her number?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both my sisters.
Okay.
My mom's cell, my mom home.
So you'd at least get your life back together.
No, but here's the thing. Random numbers that, my uncle, my grandparents' house, numbers that I used to call back in the day before you were using your cell phone, they're still the same numbers.
Yeah.
So
it's about, I know Susan's, I don't know my folks, actually. I don't know any of theirs, and I don't know any of the kids. So if Susan doesn't pick up, I'm screwed. That's about it. I know my grandmother's from 30 years ago, like you were saying.
Yeah, those don't go away.
That's weird.
Cap for me, no, I don't have this. I grew up with one, though. I remember the 50-foot cable or the cord that was stretched out.
Was it in the kitchen?
It was in the kitchen.
Yep.
There was one upstairs, too. So if, a girl would call my house, my parents would listen in.
Hey.
Yeah,
Mom.
Oh, no. All right, on this day in 2013, Pharrell Williams' song "Happy" came out. I think this song is one of the most annoying songs of all time. So this song is the most annoying song to get stuck in your head. Alan, Patrick Cap.
Oh, big time Cap. There's much worse songs than that.
Oh yeah,
and that I get that one where they're telling you to be happy, and you're like, you know what? Screw you. Don't tell me how to feel. But this song doesn't bother me. This song actually doesn't bother me at all. But maybe because I don't hear it very often. If it was playing on radio stations that were playing all the hits, I probably wasn't listening to those stations to begin with. So I guess it just never annoyed me because I didn't hear it that much. I don't have a problem with this one.
Put it to you this way. Until Taylor started to play it, I don't even think I knew who Pharrell Williams was or this song. As we know, music is none of my business. It's just kind of happy, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Light little one. The answer to the question may be, and I don't know if she's made other music, it's this. I think she was 13 when she made it. I think her name is Rebecca Black, and it's just like a checklist of the things she's going to do that day. I'm going to get up, I'm going to eat some cereal, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do some homework, I'm going to go to the big dance.
Rebecca.
Awful.
This is great. I love her.
Her
voice is.
She does have.
Her voice is not annoying at all.
Do you know this song?
No.
She does have more music, actually. She's touring. So, but she does still do this song and a remix of it. So, but it is an annoying song.
I got tickets.
She's just listing her day. I'm in the back seat. I'm with the winds blowing in my hair, and then we go to the movies. Who says no?
Taylor, what about
She's
you?
awesome. She's awesome.
I think the only other good answer left is Baby Shark. It's got to be that. Come on.
Baby Shark's a good one.
That's a terrible one.
The Baby Shark has got
I'm not going to play it. Don't worry.
Yeah, that has a purpose. Is that just for kids to just?
What's the purpose?
Yeah, but the purpose
to rot
is
their brains?
the kids listen to it, but you got to play it in the car or whatever it is, and then it goes on and on and on. It's a lot. Emily.
All right, so on this day in 2008, Twilight came out. I was a huge Twilight fan at the time. I know, I get it. It's for tween girls. But my statement is, if you had the chance to live forever, you would take it. Taylor, Patrick Cap.
This is Cap. It's going to be dark. I'll get dark here, but you watch everybody else around you die, right? That'd be
True.
really sad.
Bro, that did get sad.
You have to live with that for the rest of your life? Forever? Nah.
But you meet more people. You meet more experiences.
And then watch them die, too.
Good morning, Taylor.
Yeah. Taylor is not
Happy
looking
Monday.
at. Taylor meets somebody, and he's like, man, 80 years, that person's gone.
Don't ask an existential question if you don't want the answer.
Nice to meet you. My name's Taylor, and I'm going to watch you die. That is pretty. No, man. Look. We've talked about this before in a handful of different ways. I don't want to live forever. I want to live as long as I possibly can while I'm both healthy, physically, and mentally. The second I can't really move around all that great, the second that my brain starts to rot, go ahead and bring the pillow into the room, Slee. It's your responsibility to hold it over my face. I'm good, man. I do not want to be infirm. I do not want to be mentally gone. I do not want that.
Fact on this one, man. Fact on this one. I'm trying to live forever. I'm trying to.
Good luck.
I'm trying to get to. Is there a way that the technology just kind of speeds up and we can get this thing going in the next 40 years or so? I'm hoping that I can go forever. And like you just mentioned, everything you just described, just put me on a bed. We'll be chilling. Put Price is Right on. Play it over and over again. Get Seinfeld going as well. I'm good to go.
Yeah, no, I'm good. We're ahead. 1-0 over Wales.
1-0 USA.
38th minute. 1-0. Nil. Excuse me.
Let's
I want to make
go.
sure I use the vernacular correctly.
On the pitch, in
On
the
the
boots.
pitch, yes. In the kit, with the boots.
So this woman on TikTok, due to inflation, has started to make her own butter and own bread because she thinks it's more cost effective. So if it was more cost effective and someone proved this to you to make your own bread and butter, you would do so. Travis, fact or cap?
I like to cook for pleasure. I don't want to cook for necessity. I don't want to cook because I can save 6 cents a pound on butter. That does not sound like a lot of fun to me. No, I'm hard cap on that. I want to cook for fun, for my friends, for family. I do not want to cook to make my own bake my own bread, make my own butter. Plus, I don't think I'd be a very good churner.
Cap for me as well.
Al?
Let me give you a good example, Em. I spend too much time and too much money just going to get a cup of freaking coffee. Now, I do brew my coffee. I just don't do it consistently. And even if I do, I feel like I still go out and get a cup of coffee like this morning.
Yeah, but brewing coffee, you hit the button on the machine. You don't have to sit there with the butter churn for an hour and a half.
But that's the example of even something that simple I'm not saving money on. You want me to go make my own pizza or my own bread or something like that?
See you kneading dough all night long. Sorry I'm late, guys.
Happen.
Kneading the dough.
Not going to happen. I'm out.
Taylor?
Cap, yeah, this is a lot of work. I don't know when
I'm already flustered.
I went to an Amish farm one time, and I saw these people just churning that butter. It's a lot of work.
Have you ever done it?
Never done it myself, no, but I was watching them.
It's awesome that they do it.
It was enough to turn me off.
Yeah.
They have it at the store, Albertsons. It's right there next to the bacon and the side. Just go over there, you drop in the cart, down the road. Pretty easy.
All right.
Land O'Lakes.
Land O'Lakes is good.
You're not saving money.
No, not on that.
Save some dough.
This next one is a bit of pandering to Taylor, but Light the Beam is an amazing chant at the end of a win. Alan, fact or cap?
All right, I got to be honest with you.
Don't say it, Slee.
It's amazing. It's fact.
Oh,
the Kings are playing amazing basketball right now. They've won 6 games in a row. Everybody's jumping on that Kings bandwagon. Look at the Sacramento Kings go. Yeah, it's a real thing. That's like a real thing. It's Light the Beam.
They chant Light the Beam?
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing
Yeah,
that
and
they
there's a
do?
button
that's
that
happening.
they press that lights the beam.
That lights the beam.
player of the game will press it.
It's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know what it is, which is I think the best thing you can say about any of those sort of promotions. Like I was watching the Vikings and the Cowboys yesterday. In the beginning of the Vikings
What a
they
game.
do that chat. Yeah, right. They do that. What is that?
Yeah, that
Skull
helped
or
them.
Scove or what is it?
Skull.
Taylor?
Yeah, Skull.
Skull.
Like
Okay,
the-
where they clap their hands. And you got the whole stadium full of people doing it. It's unique to them.
It's pretty cool.
Light the Beam is unique to the Sacramento Kings. They came up with something that's their thing. It's not a ripoff of something somebody else was doing along the ways. Yeah, I'm all right with it.
I'll also say this. I think for the Kings, it fits. It's okay. They haven't had success in a while. They're riding a wave to start the season that is exciting for Sacramento, right? If the Yankees decided tomorrow, hey, guys, we're going to do this thing called Light the Beam, I think it would look a lot different. If the Dodgers If
for sure.
the Lakers,
No.
any of these others, it's like, nah, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
But we're terribly spoiled with the teams we have here because you have some iconic franchises. The Angels lit the beam. You wouldn't think it's weird.
It's a rally monkey.
Right? It is the rally monkey. It's the same sort of deal. But, yeah, if you're the Dodgers or Yankees or Giants, or you can't do that. The Lakers, the Celtics, you can't do it. But 90%
the
of
Clippers
the
do
teams
things during games that are much different
Chuck the
than
Condor.
a franchise that has been there.
Caleb Williams jumped to the front of the Heisman Trophy race, and he should. Here's how he wins it. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 7.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
See the AI take over.
Yeah, that's happening as we speak. Why do you need another 10,000 years to see that?
Because I'm merging with them.
So if you live forever, are you stuck at like an 80-year-old's body? Or how's that work?
Taylor, those details were not given to us, okay? I didn't think that far. For
if
all
we're
I
going
know.
like Twilight,
You're gonna sneeze one day and just like a daffodil, not a daffodil. What's that? Dandelion. You're just gonna go.
Just evaporate.
just float off
Just
into
gone.
the ether, right? I want to know what you
Why
want
you
to see.
guys
other
so
than-
Why are you guys
It's
so
because-
quick wanting to leave?
I'm good. What else is left?
No, I'm staying.
I want to leave tomorrow.
I'm not staying. But
Neither do I. I don't want to leave tomorrow, but
live a full life and then
Yeah.
like a normal person,
it's
pass
fine.
away.
Then pass away. I'll keep going.
You still haven't given me a good reason.
Why would you want to leave? I wouldn't want to leave.
You'd be old
Why would you
and
want your life
busted
to
up,
end?
and your brain will be all Swiss cheese, and like that doesn't.
But
sound
that's not
fun
the
at
way
all.
she described it.
She just said you're going to live forever.
Well, she says by Twilight. What is
Yeah,
it,
and
Emily?
how does Twilight work?
Yeah, so by Twilight World, it's whenever you got bitten, whenever you turn into a vampire, that's what you're stuck at. So like if you're,
Oh, so you're a vampire,
25 when you get turned into a vampire, then you stay 25 forever.
Come on, guys, I'm good. It's perfect. Now, if they get me at 103, that's not good.
You know what's funny? I didn't think I could be less interested in Twilight until that description.
I can tell it's not for
now,
you, Trav.
now I'm actually
I'm
even less
going back.
entertained.
Now I'm more interested.
Like I was already a hard
hot
no,
forever,
and
Trav.
now I'm a triple or quadruple hard no. It just feels like that. That was like, yeah, I didn't think that was for me, and now I know it's not for me. Still 1-0 in Qatar, USA up on Wales. They are into it's called extra time in the first half.
It's extra time.
That once you get past the 45th minute, you go into extra time. 4 minutes of
Plus
extra
4,
time.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Which is a really super cool way to have it. Just nobody knows when it ends.
Okay,
It
but
makes
here's
perfect sense to me.
you are falling into the guy that hates soccer.
I don't hate it, but there's things about it that bother me.
But it's the same thing with, and I get it. It's not the most popular sport here. I get it that there isn't. It's not 6 to 7. There isn't high flying action the entire game. But that's never going to change,
No, I
right?
know.
Like people that are in that camp, and I'm not one telling you I'm tuning into the English Premier League at 7 a.m. on a Saturday and watching, because I'm not either.
I'm not. That's not my point at all. My point is it'd be kind of cool to know when the game's going to end. That doesn't seem like a lot to ask.
That's it.
Like
Look, it's halftime.
If they just said, okay, if we're going to go to 48,
It's halftime.
great, we can do that.
Don't piss David off. You're going to get
I know
David
that.
upset.
Look, he can do his thing. It can be his sport. I'm just saying that we'll have it. If they said, hey, okay, put it up there. Not just exactly this number, but exactly that number. We're just going to play for about 5 more minutes, but you won't know for sure. Maybe I'll blow the whistle right now. Maybe I won't. Seems complicated.
All right, stay tuned to 710 ESPN every night
When
for
does
the
the game
Road
end?
to the
Who
Cup
knows?
show presented by Estrella Jalisco. Your host, Dave Denholm, will dive into the most exciting matchups and all the drama around the FIFA World Cup. Obviously, that's going on right now. Estrella Jalisco, proud supporters of Team Mexico. Let's cheer them on with an Estrella Jalisco beer in hand. Vamos Mexico. Drink responsibly.
Now, Dave, we're calling all the games. I'm 100% in because that dude gets fired up. He gets you so excited for
Big
those
time.
games. He's unbelievable.
He was great in the LAFC, the final game, just that call, which we played a ton of different times. Go watch the video of him.
He's just absolutely out of his mind, and I love every single second of it. So, Dave, if you want to come to my house and call these games for me, that would help a great deal. I am 100% here for that. We were watching the SC game at the house on Saturday night. One of the great SC UCLA games. That's one you're going to see over and over again over the next years and decades. And I don't think this is true. Caleb Williams went from one of the Heisman Trophy candidates to the Heisman Trophy favorite. That he is the betting favorite in Las Vegas right now to win that trophy, because here's what it is. One lost team, got a chance to go to the Final Four. He's going to play for his conference championship. He's going to have another marquee game against another marquee program in Notre Dame coming up this weekend. He plays for a prestige program, and no one else. C.J. Stroud in Ohio State's the only other guy. Like, okay, he's still very much in the mix. He's got some tough games coming too. If he can get to the end of the line, not only can he win it, I think he will win it.
I thought there was some leading up to Saturday. Okay, and it was interesting. People were. UCLA, there are a few people that were, of course, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. DTR was talking about, hey, no, this is a rivalry. We're ready to play them. We want to beat them. We don't like them. We hate those guys across town. I thought Caleb Williams was interesting. I don't know if you heard some of the stuff he said, but he said, I haven't learned much about the rivalry, to be honest. It's just another game to me. I think that's, I heard him after the game say that they were talking a lot. They were running their mouth a lot. We just wanted to come in and win the game. We just wanted an opportunity once the game started, put all the talking to the side. We're going to come out with a W or not. He was the best player on the field. Wasn't close. Yep. Wasn't. And DTR, you mentioned it. It's feast or famine. It could be a little bit of both, which is okay, but DTR had an opportunity, the ball in his hands at the final drive of the game, and he threw a pick, and he threw 2 picks in the first half. Caleb Williams had this just kind of is a wave the entire game, and it wasn't turnovers that would have lost the game because of something Caleb Williams did. He put himself in a position to win the game. I love what he said after as well. I'm with you. That dude right now has got to be the Heisman favorite.
I think he's only thrown 4 interceptions all season long. It really has been an unbelievable performance. And I like this because clearly, look, I get that he was at Oklahoma and he's new to SC. But I always enjoy the guy that's on the high side of the rivalry when it comes to football. SC's on the high. If it were basketball, UCLA would be on the high side. But in football, I always like it when they go, it's just a game. I love the condescension at the guy that's yapping at you like this. He knows this is a game. He went out there and did these things. And then when it's all said and done, he's like, yeah, got you again. I love that.
Take a look up there.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Here's what he's done in his last 5 games. 5 total touchdowns against Utah, over 430 yards. 5 total touchdowns against Arizona, over 420 total yards. 5 total touchdowns against Cal, nearly 400 yards. Against Colorado, 5 total touchdowns, 260 yards. And then against UCLA on the weekend, 502 total yards with 3 touchdowns along the way. So that would be 23 touchdowns in his last 5 games. That's how you win the Heisman Trophy at USC. He does this at Arizona State. It's like, yeah, cool. You do it at USC, you win the Heisman Trophy.
That's incredible that a university like USC, the conversation we were having about them just 1 year ago. What was the conversation around SC? Now you're talking about a Heisman Trophy potential winner. You're talking about potentially college football playoff. You're talking about...
Think they win these last 2?
It's going to be tough. I'm be honest with you too. I'd be more surprised if they're... I'd be more surprised that they go 2-0 in these final 2 games than I would if they lost one. So if that's the best way, if they split it 1-1, however it goes, it's not like you have Colorado left and the Pac-12 championship.
You got 2
Notre
really
Dame
teams.
is a really good college football team that's playing good football now, and if it's Oregon that you end up going up against, it's Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon's lost 2 games. One of them was to Georgia, and the other one was because their coach went brain dead at the worst possible time. They've been in every game or won every game.
Be a fun matchup.
Be a great game.
Yeah, it'd be a fun matchup.
And by the way, these are Oregon and SC are clearly the 2 best teams in the conference, and that they didn't have each other on the schedule this year. This is exactly how this is supposed to work. This is exactly how it's supposed to work.
Because how many times you end up playing that school late, and then you got to face them again in the
and it's anticlimactic. Like last year, Utah and Oregon played twice in like 3 weeks.
Yep.
And Utah kicked their butts both times. But this is how it's supposed to be, and SC's got everything on the line, and nothing would make Oregon happier than to ruin it. Nothing would be, because, by the way, this is what could happen. They could beat Notre Dame. They could go into Oregon. They lose the game. You're out of the Final Four. You're out of the Rose Bowl. And look out, El Paso, Sun Bowl, here we come. I mean, it could happen. They could be an at-large and obviously a much better one than that. But that could go from, hey, we've been playing for everything, to, why are we playing on December 27th? It could happen that quick.
Notre Dame, 5 wins in a row. They beat Syracuse, who was 16.
Yep.
They beat Clemson, and
who's unbeaten.
35-14, they beat them. So they're balling at the right time.
And they destroyed
Boston College
in the snow. But do you like the snow games? I love them. Turning on the TV like, oh, look at that. I don't want to go to one.
That's what I'm saying. Like the guys that are sitting there, they take their shirt off and they're going like this. I'm like, guys, go get some hot chocolate and throw a sweater on. You're going to get sick.
Go inside. Yeah, I get worried. Like,
you're going to get the flu.
It looks unsafe. You guys need to be a little more responsible.
Does your mom know where you are?
Cody Bellinger is a free agent. Does that mean he's done with the Dodgers? It's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa. Travis and Sliwa is on for your Monday. We're here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We begin 9 hours of LA sports talk all day long. Happy Thanksgiving week. But unfortunately, we have to start here because I know that's what people want. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't need to say anything. Meanwhile, though, how about some good stuff? Lakers, their third straight win last night. They beat the Spurs. And Saturday night at the Rose Bowl, Alan Sliwa was in the house, along with Steve Mason and producer Lindsay, to watch the Trojans fight on and beat the Bruins in one of the greatest USC-UCLA games ever. But Travis was at his home, the Rogers household, down South OC. Producer Jorge and myself were there. This created a big stir on social media that this was supposed to be the Travis barbecue that gets talked about so much. Planned still for February with the Travis and Sliwa Show group, our boss, the great Amanda Brown. Saturday night was supposed to be an old morning show reunion with Keyshawn Johnson, one of the greatest USC Trojans in history. And then it all fell apart, and a couple of us ended up at Travis's house with his family and friends. Nothing unscrupulous about it. The Travis and Sliwa barbecue will still be held like in February or sometime. Anyway, let's get to the fun and frivolity, shall we? And all the LA sports talk. Travis and Sliwa, your Monday right now.
Yeah. So here, you ready? You ready for the menu? You want me to lay it all out for you? What I had going on?
Absolutely.
I made I made homemade fresh guac, which is guac, but I think I feel like I've got a pretty good grip on that. That was pretty good. Made fresh pico de gallo.
Okay.
And then I made a roasted salsa verde, where I roast all the veggies in the oven beforehand. Little garlic, tomatillos, jalapeno, habaneros, a little white onion, a little cilantro and lime. Blend that up. It was not the worst thing in the world.
When you grew up in Guadalajara.
I like that palate. Like, that's my sweet spot. Those are the things I like the most. Then I made a marinade Slee from scratch. Okay, I went to the grocery store to buy some carne asada. Didn't have any. I'm like, all right. So I had to go to a second grocery store, and they had the flat meat, which is the meat that you use, but it was just the meat. It wasn't seasoned at all. I'm like, I'll give that a shot. Orange, lime, cilantro, jalapeno, onion, little bit of cumin. Put it in the bag for 5 or 6 hours. Oh my gosh, it's like I invented something. I'm sure that's the most basic thing in the world, but it was fantastic. Even Jorge's like, that moved you from 6 to number 5. I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm going to call it, like Trav's cooking tips or Trav something. We there's something there that we have to create out of this.
It's pretty good.
It's your field. It's what you like doing, and it actually connects with a lot of our listeners.
Jorge and Chris brought enough beer to feed the entire block.
Sure. No, they could have sold out the Rose Bowl.
I started the night with 1 bottle of whiskey, and by the time the night was over, there were 4. So I don't. Everybody kept bringing. Brian brought whiskey. Brad brought some whiskey.
What'd you drink?
I had a couple of beers, but mostly a little bit of bourbon along the way. And then pizzas showed up later on in the night. It was a pretty good day.
Yeah, that's on Twitter.
Pretty good day.
Who drank? Who puts it down the most? Who's holding their? Is Bobby in the conversation?
But no, he was chill. He and his friends were pretty chill. They had a few beers and ate some tacos.
I was hoping you were going to say Bobby ended up at the neighbor's house.
No,
he just knocked on the door at the neighbor's.
They were very
he
respectful.
Slept in the backyard.
By the way, that's a weird moment with your kids. That I don't know if I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to us right now, but when your kids are old enough to kind of hang out and have a few beers and watch, and it's not weird, it was nice. I hadn't really had a chance to do a lot of that.
Who drank more, Morales or you?
Probably me.
Jorge or you?
Oh, definitely me. Jorge was pretty chill. He had a few, but he was chill.
He went hard to the hoop. You're home, bro. You don't have to go anywhere.
It was pretty nice. By the way, at the end of the night, I thought I had cleaned up pretty well. Like I put everything away, and I go to bed, and I wake up the next morning to do the Rams.
Theta Chi in Santa Barbara.
I walk downstairs. I think Theta Chi is a sorority.
No, I think Theta Chi is a fraternity.
You might be right. I think
it is.
I didn't. Neither one of us know. That's great. And I'm
Alpha Omega.
Floor is pretty sticky. There's a bunch of beer caps in the backyard. There was quite a bit. Oh, they smoked some cigars in the backyard. It's a pretty nice night. You should have come.
Good evening.
But you already had plans.
We're already in Pasadena. I'm going to come out.
You should have come.
Come out your way. Do your visit.
You would have arrived right as I was falling asleep. That's how it would have gone.
Do your thing in February.
We'll see. Rams might get hot, and they might get in the playoffs.
They might get in. I will tell you, I don't think it's going to happen, the whole February thing.
Why not?
Because you would do it. You would kind of start already, hey, guys, this is my plan. I'm targeting a weekend. You've been playing that for a year. That's why.
Well, the schedule keeps moving around.
Right.
See, there was the Rams went a little bit later last year, which was wonderful because they ended up in the Super Bowl. So that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, baseball season starts, and I don't like to cross my streams. I need a little bit of a window.
All right, let me throw this at you real quick. So,
what do you got?
Game ends, USC UCLA. So I'm not going to tell Lady Slee, hey, just come out of the Rose Bowl right here in the front, right? That's not going to happen. Okay.
She was already nice enough to take you. She doesn't need to pick you up.
I don't know why I became the UCLA guy too, but, UCLA lost. So Lindsay's walking out too. Lindsay's got to take an Uber to, I think she was staying somewhere in that area. So she's got to take an Uber too. You're not getting an Uber at the Rose Bowl.
Mm-mm.
So I tell Lindsay, I'm like, all right, we're going to walk. We'll just get the hell out of here. And I was already going to meet Lady Slee to go get some dinner, okay? So probably walked about a half hour out and went towards Colorado where they got all the restaurants and everything else, the mall and all that. And me and my girl had already picked which restaurant we're going to go to. So finally get up there. It probably takes like 35 minutes to walk over.
It's a pretty good walk.
Pretty good walk.
Yeah.
But it's the best thing to do, and, before you know it, you're out there. So restaurant's closing at 10. There's a restaurant closing at 10.
All right.
Noodle Street, awesome restaurant. I think I've mentioned I've gone there before. Great restaurant. So this restaurant, remember I told you there's one that I go to, and every time I go, it's the same guy, and he has no idea who the hell we are.
Right.
4 times gone. You guys ever dined here before?
Welcome.
It's like, yeah, a week ago. We dined here a week ago.
With you.
But I don't tell him that. This one, it's like the nicest girl in the world. They're just about to close.
Oh, man, you were that guy.
They're just about to close.
How close? What are we talking here? Restaurant closes at 10, you said?
Yeah.
What time do you walk through that front door?
So I think they stopped seating people at 9:40.
Okay.
We were like 9:44.
Oof.
Okay? Not 1 minute, 4 minutes. We're in that window of like you're not sure.
Yeah,
okay?
close enough.
So, tell you what happens. She looks out the window, and we're there, and she's like...
This is the hostess?
Yeah. She's like, we're closed.
Oh, no.
And my response was, are you sure? And she like kind of gives me a look and is like, all right, come in here.
Oh, good for her.
She says, come in here. And then she said, look, soups and noodle only. Like, that's all the kitchen's going to be doing back there. So I'm like, all right, whatever you want, whatever you call. But then, you finally sit down, the menu's in front of you, and then she slips us a quick little, all right, if you guys want an appetizer, go ahead and grab an appetizer.
She's hooking you up.
Hooking us up. All right, you guys
Is she your waitress too?
She's a waitress as well.
Okay. No, she's smart. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and for all I know, I think she owns the place. And I have no idea. I have no idea. Like, she's
the cook too? So far we've got owner, hostess, waitress.
Listen. The way she kind of walks around and does the whole thing kind of gives the nod. I'm like,
she's in charge.
I think she's a private owner. Nobody knows her something. Anyways, so then she gives the whole, all right, if you guys want an appetizer, go ahead and get an appetizer. I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. You guys getting something to drink or not? I'm like, glass of wine there, glass of beer here. Next thing you know, we're having like just a great dinner. How nice of it was.
The question, how much did you tip her? Not by dollar, but like percentage. Did you hook her up for taking care of you?
Yeah, it's probably, I think if I do the math, 25 to 30%.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 to 30%.
She earned it. She hooked you up. She could have
Damn
easily
right she
said,
did.
look, I'm sorry, guys, but Saturday night trying to get the staff home. We got to get this place cleaned up and got to get ready to go tomorrow. Enjoy your in and out.
They have, which would have been fine.
Would have been great.
We'd have went there. They have a window where all the cooks are, right? And they're making the noodles in front of you. They're doing their thing. I can't tell you how many times I turn around and just wave to the guys. I'm like, I appreciate it. I know we came in late.
That's kind of your theme. That's the third different place that you've rolled like that.
Well,
right?
the Randy's Donuts was not as
donuts,
planned.
and you had another one where you came in late to the restaurant. Or am I conflating the two?
Maybe I did, and I'm just not.
You should see how late you can push it. Like, that should be your new game. Like, hey, they close at 10. I want to knock on that door at 10:02 and see if they'll let us
in. Well, his Grubhub, too, he ordered that when they were closing, right?
Ordered when we were closing, but the Grubhub, I sent it to a different Thai restaurant.
910 Union.
Yeah, 910 Union.
I'm never going to forget that address.
All right, during this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. Event is taking place on Friday, December 9th at Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Belinda. If you'd like to participate and purchase a green fee, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. Love, it's what makes Subaru Subaru.
Emily, how you hanging in there? You've been you're still being awfully quiet. I just want to make sure you're still with us.
I'm still here. I just don't know how good I sound.
You sound all right. You sound like you have a cold. That's it.
Yeah, I've been like knocking back some waters. I have so like at the airport yesterday, I was really worried because I have an earache. I have like really bad earaches, and I'm like, this is the worst thing to do while flying.
Oh yeah, that does.
And
suck.
so I had to put in eardrops at the airport, and I swear everyone was just looking at me because I was just like sticking my head to one side, letting it all drain. Gosh, I was probably like the worst person.
I'd have to lay down like on the airport.
Ask a stranger
on the airport floor. And just say, hey, listen, I just need just 2 pinches, just 2 drops in my left ear.
Excuse me, miss.
Right.
I hate to bother you, but would you mind giving me my ear medicine?
Just like on the floor at LAX. Oh my gosh.
So you want the good news, Emily? Here's the thing.
Medicine.
Yes.
And I know you and I, we've talked about this before. Nobody's looking at you. No, everybody's getting on their own plane. Everybody's worried about getting their own business taken care of, making sure they got what you want. Not one person was like, did you see that girl putting that ear medicine in? You are good. Trust me.
Talking about it right now.
This baby was giving me eye contact, and I was staring this baby down. But
that's perfectly normal.
Yeah, no, exactly. The baby was.
You had a stare down with a baby?
I mean, they were staring at me, so I'm going to stare at this baby.
How old
Did you make a
the
face
baby?
to the baby? Did you wave at it at all or anything?
Oh, obviously. I was like waving and saying hi, but then this baby didn't smile, just kept on staring at me.
How old is the baby?
It was like
24.
a couple months old, not less than a
And
year,
you think a
probably.
couple-month-old baby was staring at you?
Yes, because it was.
Okay.
Literally.
No, it wasn't. They don't really have like the acuity to focus on anything at that point. They kind of have like a gaze.
I would have went to the parent.
Surprised she didn't challenge into a
I would
fight.
have went to the parent and said, "Listen, your baby is being a complete a-hole right now, and should probably look away."
It's challenging me.
It's challenging me. Yeah, exactly. It's threatening you. It's being hostile eye contact.
I'm
that
also
baby
the
off the
person,
plane.
like, and this is me being a bad plane person, but I sat on the aisle and I stood up right away when we landed, even though I was way in the back. But I was like, I've been sitting for 6 hours.
Yeah, I get that.
And so I'm gonna stand up. So I was like, I feel really bad, but I also wanted to get off that plane as soon as I could. But I slept the entire time, which was impressive. That's how I feel today.
The worst is when you are on, like, she was on the aisle, so you can kind of pop up and get your spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going anywhere, but to her point, you've been sitting down for 6 hours. You want to, but when you're like the middle or the window guy, and you're like, I just can't.
Yeah, no thanks.
I really want to stand up, and for me at least, Taylor, we can't. Like, you can't stand up.
Put it
in
this
those
way,
two seats.
I can't. So I can't imagine.
And so it's like, okay, plane's on the ground. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's at least another 20 or 25 minutes until you can actually get off that airplane. Glad you made it safe. Sorry that you're sick. Echinacea, vitamin C, rose hips, and whatever else you can think of. And just go to town. See how many different herbal medications you can get in at one point.
Try it all out.
Cody Bellinger, we're doing it next, Lee. He's not a Dodger. Could he still be a Dodger? And are we worried? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Football season's heating up, so now
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win a mill.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
710 ESPN. All football season, your chance at $1 million each Monday. We got caller number 7, yo. Let's find out who's on the line right now.
All right, caller number 7 has a chance at $1 million, and they're going to get 2 tickets to see the Rams and the Seahawks coming up on December 4th. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Warren. I'm calling from Montebello.
Warren in Montebello. Warren, what's your last name?
Leo.
Warren Leo in Montebello. All right, Warren, you know how this works, right? We need a Super Bowl prediction and a final score. Who do you got?
Well, I got the Chiefs over the Niners, 31-28.
31-28, Kansas City over San Francisco. I like that pick a lot. That is Warren in Montebello. Warren, congratulations.
Listen every Monday for this football season on LA's Mega $1 Million sports station.
Everybody's got a price.
710 ESPN.
I like that prediction.
I like that pick.
I do too. I think that's pretty darn good. Who would you? Okay, I think we're both on the Chiefs right now, right?
Yeah.
What about the other half? I'm going to go in a new direction.
I said this a couple weeks ago, and I think I'm going to go back to it again. I said Cowboys.
Me too.
I think I'm going to stay with the Cowboys.
Me too. Yes. They looked amazing yesterday. And you know what they did that was pretty cool? And maybe I'm a little sensitive to this because this is something that just about everybody has done to the Rams all season long. They got pressure with only sending 4 guys. And if you can get pressure on the quarterback only sending 4 guys, you're really difficult to beat.
Niners would do that to the Rams.
Everybody's
Obviously,
done it to the
Cowboys
Rams.
did it to the Rams.
Cardinals.
You're right. No, I mean that's
Bills.
You can save your dudes. You're sending
Carolina.
4. Yeah.
Arizona again.
Maybe the Saints.
Saints. Yeah, no, it's pretty Tampa.
They make every defense look like the greatest defense out there.
85 Bears. They've played them 10 times so far this season. It's been
just our luck.
Unbelievable.
Just our luck.
So I was talking with Kirk yesterday, and we were talking about the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is such an interesting case, right? Because the Cowboys don't look any better with him, but they don't look – I wouldn't want to see him. They're a weird spot with him because I know that he's a star. He's on commercials because he was with the Cowboys and all that, but he doesn't put that fear in you the way – never mind Patrick Mahomes, but even some of those guys that are a tier down, even like a Kyler Murray, who I know is not going to go to the Super Bowl, that dude can just make something out of nothing. I don't get any of that from Dak. I wonder if that's not the weak link in that chain.
I think you got to get – and there's a reason for it, right? You got to have a deep playoff run where you feel like Dak won that game. Dak, they're in the Super Bowl. Their defense has been fantastic. They're this, that. But Dak got them to the Super Bowl. And until you kind of have one of those moments, by the way, it could very easily be this year. Until you have one of those moments, I think it's okay to have a little bit of hesitation.
What do you think it's like having Micah Parsons just run unobstructed right at you? Do you think that's scary at all? That just we're going on 2, hut, and then Micah Parsons has a 5-yard head start, and he's running as fast as he can right for your face.
Do you ever watch an NBA game and LeBron grabs the rebound and starts going down, and somebody stands in front of him getting ready for a charge? I'm like,
good
guys,
luck with that,
guys. It's not worth it. Give up the 2.
Get out of the way. Right? That's what you need to do. All right. Cody Bellinger was not offered a contract, which means he is a free agent. The Dodgers, Andrew Friedman did not say that it's 100% certain that they wouldn't bring him back, but they would have to negotiate a much lower rate. He's a free agent. He's free to go wherever he'd want right now.
Yeah.
According to Cody Bellinger's agent, that they've had some pretty aggressive suitors.
48 teams interested, according to Bellinger's agent.
Yeah, sure, 48. I still have this thing in the back of my head. I know that he needs to move on. I know that they needs a fresh start. All of those things. I just have this nagging little thing in my brain. He's going to go somewhere, and it's going to click against they should have kept him. Because if he stays, he would have hit 200 again. I fully believe that. But if he goes somewhere else that's not the Angels, he's gonna find it. I give him a 1 in 4 chance of all of a sudden not being the MVP he was out, but being a very useful major league player.
I get it, but I don't really understand it. Like I said, I feel like you're a perfect example of this. You're as big of a Dodger fan as I know, as knowledgeable as it comes to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I can't tell you how many different times you and I sat across the table here, And sometimes you'd even start off a show talking about Cody Bellinger and how frustrated you were at Bellinger. Right?
Still am.
All right? And all the different times that he has brought certain emotions out of you, not for a month, not for 3 months, but for basically 3 seasons. That's been the taste in your mouth about Cody Bellinger. Yet we sit here today. You're this close to moving on from Cody Bellinger. You're this close to saying to yourself, and that's not me taking anything away of how great he is defensively. But remember you were saying this, you were talking about what do the Dodgers need this upcoming season? And I think part of the way you were describing it is like they need some change, some spark. You can't kind of come back with the same exact thing and expect the exact same result. Bellinger's a perfect example of a player that if he went on and he moved on and now he's somewhere else, I think that starts some of that change that you're talking about, yet you're still holding on like it's I just don't want her to get away because she gets away, she's going to find a man that's just better than me.
It's not even that. It's I remember how good it was. I know it's been terrible for a long time, but that high was really good.
Yeah.
That and if maybe we could find it, again. I think.
Do you think most Dodger fans are with you on this, or do you think they're like, this guy's got to
I think,
let's separate.
If I take the emotional component out of it, if I take the component of the baseball gods hate me and they're going to do whatever they can to make my life miserable out of it, clearly they do.
They hate you.
I think he's broken. I don't know if he's irrevocably broken, but I think he's broken. I think he's in his own head, and you can't play baseball in your own head. You just can't do it. You
kind of can't do anything in your own head.
No, well, you're right about that. You're right about that. And I think he's tinkered with his swing so much, I don't even think he remembers what his swing is supposed to feel like. He stands with his feet close together. He spreads his feet apart. He stands up real tall. He crouches. It's like every time he went in there, he was doing something different. And once you've done that, and this isn't a perfect analogy, but anybody that's played golf, right, and you start to tinker with your swing, it's like, well, what if I take it a little more to the inside?
Sure.
What if I come from the – well, now I don't even remember how I used to swing the club. Now it's like starting from scratch.
Now
that's where he is.
You don't even realize when you do get a good hit or when you hit that ball 220 yards or whatever, you're like, I don't even know what I did to do that. I think you should not be upset at Cody Bellinger.
I'm not.
If he went and moved on and had some success.
That would bother me a lot.
You shouldn't. Because if I'm Cody Bellinger, it is what it is. Like this chapter with the Dodgers seems like it's so far beyond over. And for Cody Bellinger's sake, can you move on? And if there's 6-7 teams, like his agent is saying, there's got some interest.
Probably there's 2.
By the way, whatever it is, go see if you can kind of resurrect your career. I don't think it's going to happen with the Dodgers.
Play center field for the Dodgers. I mean, you could theoretically put Mookie out there. They've talked about putting Mookie at second. Judge is a free agent. We'll see whether or not you make a big play for him. The Dodgers feel like they're probably option 3 in that universe. Yankees being 1, Giants being 2. You have Trace, who played really well for the Dodgers last year, but are you going to let Trace play 150 games instead? Maybe, but there isn't a clear succession plan in place. Do you go out in the market, try to swing big and go for a trade? Like there isn't a clear, we'll just put that guy over there. They have guys that could take, Chris Taylor could do it, but it's not exactly what he does.
They'll have, so the money coming off of the books, right? Just players that they have. David Price coming off the books, right? Tyler Anderson.
Yep.
Kimbrel.
Yep.
Bellinger.
For sure, Bellinger. Potentially Trey Turner.
And I was going to say potentially Trey Turner.
Justin Turner at a negotiated rate, so a discount.
And this is a franchise that doesn't, it's not like they're ever counting their...
I don't know which way I'd rather see him go. Like, would you rather wake up tomorrow morning and the Dodgers got Shohei Ohtani? I mean, it would be amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it more of these, look, we're going to nibble around the edges. We're really good. We're going to find that wild card. We're going to find Shohei's a terrible
If they lose
example.
Trey, what happens? Are you still
play Gavin Lux at shortstop?
But are you still kind of nibbling around the edges, or
not? If you go and get a Bogarts, or if you go and get a Correa or something, those are difference-making players. Mm-hmm. If you put Gavin Lux in there, you're nibbling around the edge, and now that opens up a spot for Judge or whoever it may be. They never do nothing. Yeah, they got Freddie Freeman was 1 in 25. They got him. Mm-hmm. Right? And they got a little lucky because the Atlanta thing had to get weird. But they always tend to do something. They always tend to kind of take that big swing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again.
All right, coverage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup on ESPNLA. is presented by Estrella Jalisco. Stay tuned to ESPNLA every night for the Road to the Cup show hosted by the voice of LAFC, Dave Denholm. Dave will give you a deep dive into the World Cup's most exciting matchups, in-depth analysis of the action in Qatar, and all the drama that is FIFA World Cup football. Estrella Jalisco, proud supporters of Team Mexico. Let's cheer them on with Estrella Jalisco beer in hand. Vamos, Mexico. Drink responsibly.
Sounds like a fun day.
That's not a bad day.
1-0 USA right now over Wales in the
69th minute.
70th minute. I think, right, it's always one more. Is that right?
You're a soccer guy.
I think I am. Well, they're on the pitch wearing their boots and their kits,
Yep.
and it's Wales has 0 goals. I don't think that's even close to being right. Lakers are hot, 3 in a row. How excited should we get? That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Can't believe that I'm the one that's trying to talk you to get excited about a 3-game winning streak with the Lakers, Al, and you're trying to talk me off the ledge. I'm ready to plan the parade. I'm ready to buy season tickets. I'm ready to throw confetti in there. I'm ready. Wait, tell me if I get this right. Light the beam? We should get a beam. Get a purple flashlight and shine it out of my house. My house. Just tie it to my lawnmower. Drive around the neighborhood with it.
We came up with it first.
Get a laser pointer.
A laser pointer, something.
HOA calls. What is this guy doing?
The bins are gone.
Both bins?
Both bins are gone. Yeah, Jorge's like, where are the bins? I'm like, they left a couple of days ago. He's like, I want to see them. They're gone. Down the road, never to be seen again. Who knows?
He's bringing them back.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be so frustrating. Ends up bringing them back.
You know, like when you have something that's been sitting there for a long time and you move it and all the crud that collected underneath it.
Of course.
So it looks like those things have been there for 10 years. It's leaves and like odd, like it's not hair, but whatever those fibers. You know, like the it looks
everything.
like been abandoned. Only it's his driveway.
Probably a crime scene. They put like caution tape around it. What was under there?
Pretty gross. I'm just saying, it was pretty gross. Why aren't you excited about this? It's 3 in a row.
Let's go taper this here. Okay. I'm happy the Lakers won 3 games in a row. They were 2-10 walking into this 3-game winning streak. They're 5-10 now.
Hot.
So all of a sudden they won some games.
Yeah.
But I want to be – this is what I want from the Lakers. I want to really be excited about something. I really want to be excited the way we were a couple years ago, where I'm not saying you got a championship in front of you. I just want to be in the mix. I want to be in the conversation. And I don't think that if I want to sit back and pour cold water on this and say, yeah, but Brooklyn was missing A, B, and C, and the Pistons were missing 2 of their key players, and the Spurs are really not that good, and they were coming off a back-to-back against Clippers. I'm not saying it to pour cold water. No, I'm pouring cold water. I'm saying it because I want something so bad from the Lakers that I have not gotten a couple years, and neither have Laker fans. I want to feel excited about something, and I want it to be legitimate. And I'll give you an example. Tomorrow, Lakers take on the Suns.
Yep.
Phoenix Suns are one of the few teams in the Western Conference that you can say, hey, I think they got a legitimate chance of coming out of the West. Right? They got real players. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Cam Payne, who's actually been fantastic. They got real players that you could look at and say they kind of got what you need to represent the Western Conference. We'll see what happens. AD has been phenomenal in these 3 games. Phenomenal. I brought it up to Michael. I started talking about Anthony Davis before the game yesterday, and he's like, I don't want to hear you talk about Anthony Davis. Why are we talking about him for having 2 good games in a row? This is what Anthony Davis is supposed to be doing.
I know the answer to that question.
My case was because, Michael, he doesn't do it all the time.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
And Michael's
That's a good reason, by the way.
Michael's case, which, I love, he's like, that's what he's supposed to do. That's the player that is supposed to be taking over the franchise. That's the 29-year-old in his prime that everybody's saying, hey, this is your squad, right? Right? It's your team, right? Well, he hasn't gone and ripped the franchise from everybody's hands and say, guys, I'm the main player on this team. So I want to get excited for all these things. They got the Suns tomorrow. If we walk in on Wednesday and the conversation is, all right, the Lakers just went to Phoenix and won a game by 4, and Anthony Davis was once again the best player on the floor with Devin Booker and some of these other guys, then I think you could start having this feeling of, maybe I think we're on to something. But if you go tomorrow and you lose by 15 or 17 or 12 or whatever the case is, then you kind of go back to, well, is it square one and they were just bad teams? So it's not that I'm not excited. I'm cautious of what they just did until they play a good team.
I say this a lot, but it's true. 2 things can be true at the same time. Right? It can be all of the extenuating circumstances, bad teams, back-to-backs, missing their best players, and that's why the Lakers have won 3 in a row. That's probably what it is. It also could be because Anthony Davis is finally way past the point where we were hoping it would happen. All of the factors to determine his success are starting to line up, and here's what I mean. Maybe he's finally healthy. Right, that he's finally healthy to the point where he can start to really turn it loose, as opposed to, because early in the season, it felt like he was tentative. Like he would have moments where it was really good, and then 10 minutes later,
thinking about maybe,
yes,
sure,
for sure. And you could almost, all of a sudden he goes, he blocks a shot or he dunks a ball, and then he's wincing, he's kind of moving around, but he'd stay in the game. So maybe we're starting to get out of that a little bit. Maybe it is some confidence is coming his way, and maybe for all the reasons that you just laid out. Bad teams, back-to-backs, no big men, whatever. He's putting up 35
Monster
a
numbers.
night, so let's just enjoy that while it is. And then there's the other part of this that probably is both bad news and is going to add a degree of complexity to what they do moving forward. Maybe not having LeBron out there too actually helps him. Maybe that instead of, hey, I'll find my spots when LeBron isn't doing his thing, I'll kind of chip in when needed. It's, I don't know when he's coming back. There are no other options on this team. It literally is just me. Let's go do this thing. So you add all these things together. That doesn't mean that it isn't the beginning of another run of him playing really good basketball. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to buy. If this were a stock, I'm not buying it quite yet. But it for the first time in forever, it ticked up a little bit. And for all of these reasons, but it did go up. And I'm intrigued. I'll be more intrigued by what happens tomorrow night. But if he can do it again and all of these things, health, schedule, clear path, you can start to say, okay, now what do we do? What if, in fact, he's starting to round back into shape as the guy that we thought he'd be 2 years ago when we got him? What do we do moving forward? Because that's a totally different conversation than we were having a week ago. I'm
going to stay with the Bron thing for a second. So let's say Bron came back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's been questionable these last couple of days. He's missed all 3 of these games that the Lakers won. Okay, let me just use that as an example. Bron comes back tomorrow, and let's say in that game tomorrow against the Phoenix Suns, Lakers do lose, and they lost by double digits, and Bron was there. It's interesting the way you kind of position it, because when Bron is not there, I don't know if Anthony Davis's mindset is, there ain't nobody else here.
Mm-hmm.
It's on me. It's on my back. I got to put up 35 and 15 rebounds and whatever it is, right? Let me use that as one example. The other example would be, is Darvin Ham now saying everything goes through AD? Or all the other role players saying, guys, I don't know, what do you want me to do? Everything goes through AD. If Bron comes back and it's now back to, well, I'm going to let him get his. Bron is holding the ball up at midcourt. He's taking too many jumpers.
Taking bad shots, yeah.
Taking bad shots, whatever it is. I'm just using that as examples. That conversation would be interesting. I wonder how much Bron is also looking at this and saying, AD, you ready? I mean, is the 35 and 15 that everyone's been waiting for? Because if that's coming every night, when I'm back in, don't think that's going to slow you down. I'm going to feed you the damn ball every time. That's kind of a fascinating thing to watch.
What if yes. What if what you're saying is, let's say he misses, maybe it's another game or 2 or 10 or whatever it is, and AD continues to look like we've seen the last 3 games, and then LeBron comes back and we go back to the other guy. It's like, okay, now what are we doing here? What is the next decision? And not that AD goes bad, but the pieces that we thought fit together so well, maybe they don't fit as well as we thought, because we had the one season that was really good, all the circumstances we know, shut down the bubble, and it was terrific, and it resulted in a championship. Since then, the fit has been bad for a variety of different reasons. But you're starting to see AD healthy. You're starting to see him start to look like the player that you hoped you were going to get, and it's coincided, and maybe it's just that. Maybe it's purely a coincidence that LeBron's been out. But if you add LeBron back in and it goes right back, then that's not coincidental.
So
that's a connection.
By the way, Wales just tied it up 1 apiece.
Oh, in the 83rd minute.
Yep. Let me throw this your way. And
LAFC guy just did it to him too.
Let me throw this your way. LeBron has been in the league long enough. LeBron is smart enough. I don't know if LeBron James, I don't know how he feels today, maybe how he felt a couple years ago. A couple years ago, it was 100% all about, hey, I'm going to still be the best player on the floor, and AD, you're going to also be the best player on the floor. We could do this thing together. Maybe we are getting to that point where it's, hey, Anthony Davis is the best player on the floor every single time.
He needs to be.
Don't you think Bron would adjust his game? And I don't have the answer.
It's a great question.
But I know how
it's a great
smart
question.
LeBron James is.
He is.
How brilliant he's been his entire career. How would Bron take, because it would be the first time in his career that you're the second best player when you walk on the floor because Anthony Davis is dominating the league right now.
I would
that as an example.
I would love to
Wouldn't
see.
that be a great position?
It would be a great problem to try to figure out.
Yeah.
The question of whether he would lean into it, I think intellectually, yes. But I think the actual reality of it is I'm out on the court. He's still LeBron James in his mind. I feel like I'm LeBron James. I can still get to the basket. I can still it's that I know that this is how it's supposed to be, but it's that push and pull of what do you do? It's what Russell Westbrook struggled with a really long time.
You said it best. It would be a great problem to have. Be the best problem that the Lakers have had in a while.
And the answer is pretty obvious too. What you do. If it actually is a problem, and again, it'd be a great problem to have. but you don't have to think too hard about which way you need to go in that situation. It's right there in front of you. The Dump coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
Slee, I don't know if you are among the 34.5 million people that liked Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi's Louis Vuitton photo shoot, but it is the second most liked photo in Instagram history in just 24 hours.
All right, so I don't really know where to start with this because it's such a big story for me. I'm not kidding with you. What you just read is the first time I've ever heard of that.
That makes two of us.
I was not aware that that happened, and I look forward to liking it on the gram.
Didn't you delete your Instagram?
I didn't delete it. I just took it off my phone, but I it's still there, have an account.
That's deleted. That for all because you don't look at Instagram on your
or that's
laptop,
a good point.
Do you?
Every once in a while, but I'm probably on it 90% less by taking it off my phone.
You should go do it right now, like the photo, and see if you can get them up over 35 million. Retweet it.
What was number one?
I'm assuming it's another Ronaldo post. He seems to be involved in all of these things along the way. Mexico City, Monday Night Football tonight. Mexico City is hosting the Niners and the Cardinals. Here are the top-selling jerseys in Mexico. Josh Allen, sure, why not? Everybody likes Josh Allen. George Kittle is your number 2. George Kittle is a nice player, but that's surprising. So
that is surprising.
Niners should have some people in the building there. T.J. Watt, all right. Steelers are a popular team. He's the best player on the Steelers. Mac Jones? Does Mac Jones have
awesome.
Mac Jones in Mexico City. If anybody looks like they would not be popular in Mexico City, it would be Mac Jones. By the way, he was terrible yesterday. Did you see that end of that game?
I saw the end of the game.
The walk-off punt return?
Watching it live when it happened. 3-3, nothing going on. Was it the only game? No, it's the same time as was that the 10 a.m. game? I can't remember.
10 no, it was
a 10 a.m. game.
Yes.
So, when the Saints and the Rams, there was nothing left to watch. Then I'm watching a 3-3, not much to watch, but at least it's two good teams. Yeah, watch it live.
I have only seen one other walk-off punt return in history. The Giants a million years ago decided to punt. Deshaun Jackson is not just the fastest guy in the league at the time. He might be the fastest guy to have ever played in that league. He's on a very short list. Even last year with the Rams when he's 150 years old, he was still running by everybody. There's no time left on the clock. Let's punt it to Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Dumbest decision I've ever seen.
Was this the one where he's like angling? He gets to the end zone and starts angling just to do it and then goes in? Yeah.
I think in this one he actually kind of no, you're right, where he kind of like backpedaled along the goal line. We saw this Marcus Jones last night. Did it. Guys, kick the ball to the sideline. Pin him in. Don't kick it down the middle of the field. Don't give him all of this time. It was such a bad move, and I love...
You just don't get it, do you?
What's that?
I'm kidding. It's as point blank as can be. I don't understand that either. I don't understand it.
So, Zach Wilson for the Jets... It's quickly becoming my favorite story because Zach Wilson for the Jets is clearly loathed by his teammates, and it's pretty great. So he goes into the postgame press conference, and the reporters asked him, do you feel like you've let the defense down? He goes, no. Dude, you scored 3 points. You did let the defense down. You absolutely left the defense down. And then all the reporting after was that everybody was kind of side-eyeing the dude in the locker room after. So that's...
Isn't that the perfect opportunity to say, listen, if we have a game where we score 3 points, of course I let the defense down.
Yeah.
Is that hard to put into play?
No. And by the way, it immediately takes all of the stuff off the table. Hey, did you blow it? Yeah. Clearly, we only scored 3 points. I'm the quarterback of the team. We only had 3 points. Of course I'm responsible for this. You know what everybody says after that? All right, let's go to the next one.
Yep.
We're still 6-4. We still got a chance.
I like the side eye.
That's when this dude right here. I love that stuff. Deion Sanders is in talks with Colorado and South Florida about filling potentially their head coaching vacancies. Deion has done a really good job at Jackson State. Deion was when he got the job, he was like, oh yeah, Deion, whatever, big name, but he's never coached football at that level. We'll see what happens. He's a good football coach. He's a really good football coach. I don't know why you'd have to go Colorado or South Florida. I'd hold out for something better. South Florida's a lot better program than Colorado is right now. Why would you want to go from where he is right now to not just the worst team in the Pac-12, arguably the worst team in the country in Division I?
Plus, if you're a decent university out there, he is, like you said, a good coach. He's prime time. That is as big of a name as it gets, which means you're going to get attention. He's going to go get players. Kids want to come play for him.
Jackson State.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Sometimes, If those opportunities are coming from those schools, you might as well hold out.
Well, yeah, usually if you're coaching at an HBCU and you move up, these are the programs that you land at.
But he's not a regular
hold out for a middle of the pack Power 5 job or a really good Power 5 job. That doesn't seem like a bad idea at all. Olivia Pichardo is making history as the first female to play Division I college baseball for Brown University.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's a very cool story. I actually didn't know. How does that work? So she's making this her first female. I will tell you this. That is one of those things. We'll have games. They'll cut into certain games. I think you were telling me about this with Aaron Judge, right? They were cutting into his. I know this is not that, but that's a monumental moment. I hope when that opportunity comes, we can see some of this because it's cool to read it here, but you actually kind of want to see it unfold.
I want to see it. Yeah, I'm curious.
I'd be curious
if
if you said,
like.
hey, later today at 5 o'clock, they're going to air this. It's going to be the first time it's ever happened. I'd watch it.
Georgia, the first SEC team to go undefeated in conference play in consecutive seasons since Alabama in 08-09. And I don't want to say they barely got it done because they got it done, but that game against Kentucky was oddly close late into the fourth quarter.
Was it 16-6? And Kentucky missed a field goal to make it 16-9. Then they could have tried to get a stop. Did you need 5 things to go your way? Yeah, but you're so accustomed to Georgia just shellacking
Game's
teams.
over at halftime.
It's over.
Yeah.
The fact that one was close. There were the top 4 teams, say the top 5 teams. Tennessee lost, and the other 4 teams were all in games. TCU got lucky.
They did.
Michigan.
They got lucky because the other coach made a terrible
100%.
decision. Yeah.
100%. What'd they do? They went 3 plays just to make them run the clock.
Yep.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
By the way, you have nothing to lose. Go get a first down.
Yes.
You have absolutely
100%.
nothing to lose.
100%.
What does it matter if you lose a game? It doesn't matter. So you might as well. I mean, all the pressure's on the other team.
So with TCU, though, in particular, that end of game, so right, they don't have any timeouts. They got to run their kicking team onto the field as the clock is ticking down. You have to get set.
How
you
about
have to
that?
make the kick. How
about that play call on third down?
100 different things could have gone wrong. Right, 100 different things. They nailed it.
I know.
And that is credit to the kids, for the players, for executing that the way that they did. You know how good of a coach you have to be to set that up for that to work perfectly? Do you know how many hundreds of times you have to drill that to have that go that way?
Can I tell you something? After the game, the coach at TCU, he goes, no, we work on that. On Thursdays as we work on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, God bless you, because I don't care how many times you work on that thought process, that whole practice, that it actually happened and played out the way it did for a chance to stay in the top 4 of the college football
I'd like to see
playoff.
them lose.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them lose so SC can get in. Let's do a little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begin. It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Mace is here. Ramona is here. Is that O'Shea I see in the other room? Is he going to join us here in a little bit?
We're going to do a little 3-man weave today.
Outstanding. O'Shea, hello. Welcome. How are you, Momo?
I am good.
Yeah?
Oh, God. I know what's coming.
This is the most amazing Starbucks drink order.
Yeah.
I noticed it wasn't the Momo special.
It is.
Oh,
I
no.
send a text.
Shay's Momo sends a text and says,
we got
hey,
our
I'm
whole
going to
show right here.
Starbucks. I'm going to Starbucks.
Anyone wants Starbucks or Smashburger, I'm going to order. And this is me on the drive-in, okay? So, I can't do anything super complicated as I'm driving. I can just sort of hit one little thing on the app as I'm stopped. Okay. This order comes in, and I didn't see the full. Let me just deconstruct this, all right?
Yes,
you can
deconstruct.
sit. You can sit over here.
Yeah, come on over here,
sit
O'Shea.
over
You're
here,
going to need the
O'Shea.
answer for yourself. Also, I had a...
There you go. It's broken?
Well, there's 80% of the chairs in
nine
here.
more for you to try. We're good.
We have lots of chairs.
80% of the chairs are
O'Shea
broken.
Jackson
Yes.
Jr.
Would you say I have
fresh
a
off the
plethora of
set
chairs?
of Swagger season 2.
Yeah.
Exciting.
How you
O'Shea
feeling?
Jackson
All
Jr.
right.
So, the order.
This is an amazing thing. So you know on your text how just the top line will come through unless you click on the text. So initially all I saw from his order was Grande Vanilla Bean Frap. So, okay.
All right, that's reasonable,
see it.
right? That's okay.
So and then I saw Greg with a no thanks, and Mace, you just didn't answer.
I just ignored.
Okay.
I've got my Starbucks.
So then I get to the Starbucks and I actually open up the text and it's ready because I ordered ahead on the app.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, he also wants caramel drizzle around the cup and on top, and cinnamon powder and cinnamon dolce sprinkles.
Delicious.
It does sound really good.
How did you stumble into that?
Wait.
Because that
So I
sounds
look
pretty
at the,
amazing.
I
Sounds
look
like
at
a
the
lot of
barista, and
years of,
fortunately,
like-
the place was not crowded, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. My friend who ordered this, he had a couple other special requests.
They probably
can
didn't
put
believe you
some of
either.
this?"
Do you have cinnamon dolce sprinkles?
Sprinkles.
And
Do
he
they
knew
even
just what I
have
was
them?
talking about. I go, "This is not my order."
Yeah, you need to call
This
me.
is for my friend.
They don't believe her.
Disrespect.
They definitely don't believe her. They definitely don't believe
And
her.
I was like, he wants the caramel drizzle around the cup and on top. How'd he do? Did he get it?
Did he get it right?
No,
Sure.
he didn't put it around
Oh,
the
he
cup.
didn't put it around the cup.
Yeah.
But it was
Full of
because
haters.
it was a late ad.
Get me
That's
that
why.
barista.
It
Fire.
was a late ad. I didn't see the rest of it. I was like, this is an amazing.
O'Shea,
show.
Close enough,
did that
O'Shea?
take a while to figure out that right touch there, the around the
I've,
cup?
I've never ordered anything else since I was probably about 16, 17. I've ordered the exact same thing
Got
every
it.
time.
They had cinnamon
No,
dolce
that's new.
sprinkles?
That's new.
Oh, I was gonna
That's
say.
new.
I
So
don't
you're
even
adding
remember
elements
those.
to it as
Oh, yeah.
you're modifying this as you get a
He
little
reached
older.
out to Starbucks and said, we got to add a couple items here.
No, I've
How do I even do that on the app? Like
Oh,
caramel
forget
around
it.
it's on
the
it.
cup. I'm
The
like,
app, you've got to be
no.
so
I didn't
straight
know.
ahead
I
simple.
thought you were at this Starbucks right here.
I was, but I ordered on the app on the way.
I didn't know
in.
that you were ordering on the app and driving. It's
'Cause
very
I'm-
dangerous to order
Yeah,
while
I
you're
know, 'cause
driving.
I'm like George Clooney and Up in the Air. I like efficiency, and I get very thrown off when it's not ready after I've ordered ahead on the app. I get like very like, why is it not ready? You said it's gonna be ready.
I noticed you don't have the Momo special for
I
yourself.
didn't do it. Yeah.
You know, you just are you off?
No,
are you on a
just
new
straight
direction?
up
it's cold
latte,
out.
straight up
Well, you still
latte.
have an
It's
iced
just
drink
iced
though.
mocha. It's just
Yeah,
iced mocha
still.
with oat
Yeah,
milk.
simple,
Light work.
easy, easy on the app.
What's the Momo special?
It is iced tea with some. What did I do? The
Peach puree.
the
Chunks.
Peach
Ew.
chunks,
and
yeah.
peach juice.
And peach juice.
So it's kind of like a peach iced tea.
It is good.
It was good.
It is good,
Oh, no,
yeah.
it was pineapple chunks.
right.
Pineapple. It was like
Yeah.
the freeze dried pineapple chunks in it.
It's too
pretty
crazy.
good.
It's
Yeah,
too
that's
crazy.
Wait,
not
you're
no.
saying it's too
Yeah, no.
crazy?
It's just
Even
crazy.
Shay
No.
says that is
No,
crazy
it's
and
crazy.
out of line.
It's over the top.
So, Slee, did you have fun on
Awesome.
Saturday night?
Yeah, this guy hooked it up. Seats were fantastic. By the way, that is kind of funny. There were probably was a time when by the time I got there, 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter. There's no space.
There
There's
were
just
no
bleachers.
right.
okay?
It's a metal bench, and
Right.
so everybody's standing the entire game, pretty much.
And it says, like, where it says seat 9 and seat 8, you cannot fit, like, how they think two people are going to be in that. We're already, there's no space at all. So I'm kind of coming in, trying to get in. I'm kind of standing a little
right,
bit.
We're all standing
I'm
shoulder to
well
shoulder.
aware.
Then Lindsay comes in,
Well,
and we're
how about before Lindsay? There's the two guys come with two beers, kind of heavier
Yeah,
set dudes
yeah.
coming in. I'm like,
Why
where?
did you look at me when you said that?
Yo,
did
chill,
look
chill,
at
chill,
you.
chill,
Totally
chill,
did.
chill, chill.
yeah.
Two heavier set dudes. I'll just look up in the air. They're come like, how the hell are they going to find you? See, Lindsay, we basically had like you have to take one step forward,
Right.
and then somebody's behind you in the same row. But it was awesome.
It was like a game of
was
musical chairs where
I can't
nobody
stand
lost,
that. Like,
and
I get nervous
everybody's
just thinking
sharing
about that.
seats.
I kind of liked it.
What, crowds like that?
Yeah, like when it's super standing room only, and it's really not even standing room. It's like stand to the side room.
Right.
Yeah.
But
like-
Ramona, isn't that college football kind of
Too old for that.
comes
Sorry.
with the
Come
Rose
on,
Bowl,
Wow.
Too old, too bougie.
USC, UCLA.
I'm in for
comfort.
once a year.
She's
Once
looking
a
at me.
year.
He knows
You'd
what I'm
be up
talking
in one
about.
of those fancy boxes watching that.
Yeah, I really
right?
would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell you, to be
Take
in
more
it
shrimp.
was
I bet.
really cool.
It was amazing to watch it on TV. I would imagine that being there, it was absolutely electric. And you got to think that, we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But Caleb Williams probably won himself the Heisman Trophy
I think he
with that
did.
game.
I think he did. Yeah. I mean, he's the favorite now in Vegas.
Yep.
I'm such a hater. I'm like texting about that last throw where he didn't run for it, and he like on the 3rd and 10. And I was like,
What's
what?
to hate?
I was like, what was that decision making right there?
Stanford.
Yeah.
That bothered me. That play. He
You
has
were-
like daylight. The game could be over. Just run for the first down, and he throws this like missile 5 yards down to the outs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he did. He did do that.
I
Yeah.
was like, where's your touch? Where's your feel?
Where's
for
your
the
touch?
game?
He threw for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Where's your
What are you
touch?
talking about? Where's your touch?
So we were
almost
going
My
won the
through
God,
it.
if he
because
had
of
more
that.
touch.
He's accounted for 23 touchdowns in the last 5 games.
Wow.
23
Ooh,
touchdowns in
His
the last
total
5
yards
games.
he's basically averaging almost 500 yards, at least 4 of those 5 games.
Now, if they spit the bid against Notre Dame, if they lose in the Pac-12 championship will come before the Heisman Trophy is awarded.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So there's still some hurdles.
It factors
of course
in.
it does.
Yeah.
Of
And
course
it'll be
does.
Oregon, and Bo Nix looks good, and they found a way to beat Utah the other night.
Oregon is good.
Yeah.
They've really got lost to Georgia, and they blew it because their coach went brain dead at the
Right.
worst possible moment against Washington. But it goes to show you, Al and I were talking about this. SC is one of those handful. Alabama with Nick Saban. You get the right guy there, you don't have to build it back up. It clicks back in like that.
Right.
Especially with the portal right now where, okay, you got Lincoln Riley, we got the quarterback, we got Addison, here we go. It isn't this slow build. It's just we're back. We're SC Heisman Trophy Final Four in 1 year.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, we didn't bring in like a bunch of kids. We brought in guys who had already a guy that already won the Biletnikoff Award, a guy like Caleb Williams, a guy like Travis Dye, who unfortunately is hurt.
Yeah.
But Travis Dye, I think, played 4 years
At Oregon.
At Oregon,
Yeah.
and then came to play for us. I mean, these are like veteran college kids that we're getting.
It's much more
free agent.
College
They're
kids.
free agents.
Free agents.
They're-
No,
they're
it really
free
is.
agents. Free agents.
What's the
They're
difference?
coming to the
I don't
program.
think there's much
There
of a
isn't
difference.
any difference.
I was talking to somebody. Tell me if this makes sense. That if you are a middle tier talent, let's say you're going to go 3rd round, 4th round. Do you stay in school because you can conceivably make more money in school than you can in the NFL if you're going to wind up being a 3rd or 4th rounder?
Oh, I don't think there's any question,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
look at Bryce Young. He's got a national Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know what that pays, but it's probably a lot.
He's in
right?
he's in the 7 figures.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
he is.
he's in the. Caleb Williams is in the 7 figures.
I haven't. So he has that water commercial, right? I've seen that one a million times.
But I mean, isn't that just kind of?
It's
pretend.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
the portal.
we'll stick him in a commercial, and that'll give us an excuse for him to endorse a bunch of stuff we don't know about.
Go promote a Honda Civic or something, and we'll just get the bags of money coming your way.
Yeah, maybe he's driving a Lexus, and that's part of the deal. I have no idea, but I do think that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the country.
For sure.
I think he's going to play on Sundays, and I think he's going to be great on Sundays.
Okay.
He's an immediate number 1 pick.
This is a bridge too far, perhaps. Does he not? And I'm not saying he's got a long way to go. He's got to get better. He's got to do blah, 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 blah. You not see a little of Mahomes in that dude?
Bit of Mahomes. Bit of
too much.
No, I love it. I love to hear it. I mean, everybody in my house, we all looked at next year to kind of be the USC year. So everything that's happening now is just
Gravy.
a crazy surprise. And my favorite part about all the success of USC is reading Oklahoma fans' Twitters.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bitter.
They are.
I
love
bitter. They are very
What about
upset.
Pittsburgh fans?
Right now, Oklahoma gives me life. It just it fuels me.
I found.
Let the man drink his
I
bean
was like,
frappuccino.
I had a mouthful
I
of
was
stuff.
going to say, he had a
Let him
mouthful of
finish it,
vanilla
please.
caramel drizzle
He
with
made a nice
caramel
point.
cinnamon
latte,
chunks.
cinnamon latte dolces.
It does sound delicious. Like it kind of made me want to order one
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
The
It's the
description
best.
is good.
It seems
Yeah, the
so
description is
But
good.
it's no coffee. It's all sugar. It's no coffee in this
Wait,
whatsoever.
can we stop pretending these are coffee drinks?
Yeah.
That's not a
They're
coffee.
not. It's a
It's
shake.
a
There's a
milkshake.
little
That's a
coffee
shake.
and it's a
Good
milkshake.
shake.
Yeah.
It's a good shake. So can I have you guys throw me up some good karma for tonight?
Okay. What do you need?
If Arizona can upset San Francisco,
Okay.
I win that eliminator pool.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you take? Did you take the Cardinals?
I already won.
He
this
already
one.
got his win.
I
He already
won
got his
with
W.
Baltimore yesterday against Carolina, which
Okay.
at 3-3 halfway through the fourth
my
quarter
gosh.
had me sweating
Wondering,
a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, so the other two guys are both on the Niners. So if
So
Arizona,
if Arizona wins tonight,
no
you
Kyler
win.
Murray.
Yeah, no Kyler
They're gonna
Murray.
play Colt
Although I'll
McCoy.
tell you what, Colt McCoy
look good against
is
the Rams.
pretty good. Well, I mean,
So did Andy Dalton.
Yeah, so did Andy Dalton. Yeah,
Sure,
guys
sure.
tend
So
to
does
look
everybody.
good against the Rams. Yeah,
We're done with Stafford for the season, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Why are you laughing?
Because the Rams are terrible. There's
Well,
no way around it.
I mean,
And
that's one way to
I
put
just
it.
don't like the idea of people still wanting to, that push, that extra push when it just really feels like there's
you know,
no
the
point.
NFC is
It's a
wide
wrap.
open.
Yeah,
I'm tired of that.
Not that wide
It's not
open.
that wide open. Yeah.
Well,
No.
if you'd have just came a week ago, Trav was already laying out. Look, at 3-6, if we can
I was
just
holding
Were
on.
you really? We can get this.
Not at 3-5. I was like, you know what? I can see it from here. It's not easy, but you
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah.
And then at 3-6, it's like, no, not really.
You
And
know
then
what I think
yesterday
broke
happened.
the whole thing? I was talking about this last night. I think the Tampa game broke the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I told Slee earlier
It totally
today.
broke the game. It broke the back of this team.
It took whatever heartbeat you had and just completely extinguished it.
I felt the same way after week 1 against Buffalo. I thought that one.
You thought that one?
That one did it.
You were on must-win watch at week 2 against Atlanta.
Well, against Carolina for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Carolina was a must-win.
You ready for the most depressing part of all? That Carolina win might be the last one they get.
Yeah, it's possible. Especially if you're not going to bring back Stafford. And he's had 2 concussions in 3 weeks.
All right, so they both came in here wearing their Laker hats.
Yes.
Steve Mason and O'Shea Jackson.
Yes.
You just said that might be the most depressing part. I don't know.
You're going to be more depressed?
I don't know. I'm just going to see.
Go ahead.
You got some news?
No.
Okay.
No. The Laker trajectory was go all in to get AD.
Yes.
And they got a championship out of it.
Right.
So it was worth it. Whatever comes next, the fallout from the trade, what if this pick that we got to send to the Pelicans turns into Wembanyama? Okay. What if that happens? All of that, still got your championship. Are we looking at a similar narrative with the Rams?
No, because they bottomed out faster. Honestly, they don't have their first round pick like you're talking about.
Trav saved you real quick.
They have a really high second round pick.
They could be picking 35th,
right,
6th,
correct.
something like that.
If his scenario plays out, we've got like the second or third pick in the second draft, which is almost like a first round pick.
It's a late first round pick, shall we say?
It's the earliest pick they've had in a long time.
I just dropped that little.
No, but by the way, that could definitely happen.
And Trav was like, nope.
That scenario.
Look,
I can't even consider
I got
it.
7 more games, Ramona, to get through before
It was
I
like
can
I
start
just
thinking
dropped
like that.
what's the little coldies thing that you put in there and the fizzies and the water?
The Alka-Seltzer kind of
barely
thing.
dropped it in there, and Trav's like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
He almost jumped over the table here.
I didn't like where that was headed.
I know.
We have an almost first round pick.
An almost first round. There you go.
For the first time, their last time they picked in the first.
What if they don't win another game, and their first round pick goes to who this year?
Detroit
Lions.
And their first round pick could be
high.
One of the great quarterbacks right now.
Could be. I don't need.
I'm just
but the
saying,
problem is,
do
they need a quarterback though? Matthew Stafford, I feel, still has some time left.
I do too.
Well, you just signed him. You better.
Exactly. He needs to have.
And that's why his next meaningful game should be in September. I don't want to see him till September.
Okay, but what do you do with Aaron Donald? What do you do with Jalen Ramsey? What do you do with Bobby Wagner? You're telling those guys they got to go out there for 7 weeks?
I think you cut their
Netflix and chill.
You cut their reps. You cut their
watch the World Cup
plays. And see what happens.
We got to draw, guys, in the first round.
Oh,
of
is
the
it?
World Cup.
We tied.
Thanks, refs.
Yeah.
Gareth Bales.
Gareth Bale.
Oh, it was him.
A penalty kick.
He came back around and
he does seem
stuck
like a
it to
super
us.
villain, doesn't he? Especially with the haircut.
Anybody
The
right now is a
hairstyle.
supervillain. Right now, especially with it coming from penalties, everybody in America right now is screaming referees right now.
Yeah.
Al, we should have yelled about the referees.
Did you watch a lot of the game?
Well, we've had it on the whole time, so I'm kind of watching it.
Break
with
it
one
down.
right.
He broke it down. He broke it down earlier.
We got one. We got one in the first half.
Use some
They
of
got one
your
in the second
use some
half.
of your
Bale scored on a
terminology.
PK.
Yeah.
Boots, pitch, nil, extra time, 74th minute.
Have you learned
What
how
a
to
monster.
pronounce
What
cutter
else do you
yet?
need?
Cutter, just like you just
Yeah,
said.
cutter.
It shouldn't be though.
They sent us these pronunciation
I know.
things. Cutter.
So
it's
Cutter.
Qatar. Come
It's
on.
Qatar.
It is
not
Qatar.
Qatar.
I agree.
I
It is
know
Qatar.
that officially it's
what
Qatar.
did I say? It's
No, it's
Qatar.
officially it's Qatar, but there's nobody who knows the English language that would look at the word Qatar and say Qatar. You would say Qatar.
That's true.
Right.
Right.
So where did Cutter come from?
The official pronunciation.
No,
Forget
But
that.
who
the official
said it?
pronunciation.
Probably
wait a
like
minute.
if you live there.
The
if you live
official
there, that's probably what you
pronunciation
call
is Qatar.
Is
So
it?
I read
that's what I
something
thought.
this
It was
morning.
Qatar.
That's what I learned
no,
in
it's
school.
Not Qatar.
Oh,
It's
good.
Qatar.
It should be Qatar.
Here's
Yeah.
Qatar.
So who started the whole Qatar
the
thing?
Qatari government,
Yeah.
okay, has now said that they're both correct. They basically
No.
gave.
No,
hold
did they
on,
really?
hold on.
All
Yes, they basically came out and said there is no
Yeah.
exact perfect English translation for this word. Therefore, they're both kind of right. David Remnick, who hosts the New Yorker Radio Hour,
Yeah.
Yep.
he's going Qatar. I'm going Qatar because that's the
saying
I'm
smart
going
side.
Qatar
Qatar
because
all day.
Qatar.
ESPN sent out a pronunciation thing and they said say it this way.
I'm going David Remnick. That's where I'm going with it. Super Crosstalk is over. Mason and Islands next. Ramona's in. O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s in. We'll see you tomorrow.